Sorry about that, guys. I hope you can hear me now. Let me say all that again. It's Unsolicited with Security Boss. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. Last night, you were all here at my pre-show, and you all followed me over to Sir Hell's channel, and I appreciate that so very much. I love the support. Continue to do so. I just want to say hello to a few of you. Fancy Ketchup, this is the first time I'm seeing you here in the chat. I thank you so much for what you're saying. I hope you get to stay for the show tonight. Listen, continue to engage yourself, ask questions. I appreciate you so much for being here. Corey, you know you fam fave. Stephen Day, Celine, how are you? Thank you for being here. Listen, guys, all of you, I appreciate y'all so much for what you did last night. Hopefully we'll have a good show tonight. But what I want to do right now is I haven't already said to make sure you hit the thumbs up as you come in. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you're doing that also. But I'm going to invite my co-host up so we can get started on tonight's topic, because y'all know it's crazy and y'all know we're going to be going back and forth like crazy. So, Black Man Unfiltered.
What's going on? Hey, Shook, how are you?
I'm doing good. I ain't had you struggle streaming today, did I?
Man, I was struggle streaming, but guess what? I'm in here.
I am here. The Most High, thank you for being here. Bethany, I see you're here too. But listen, I got enough struggle streaming to go around. I got to give you a little bit.
I know that's right. Hey, I'll take it. I'm good. We're good.
We're going to shake it off and we're going to keep going. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. You look great today.
Well, thank you. You like the pink?
I know the pink. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I bet that. Look, watch the husband do the camera angles, guys. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 1. Hey. 2. Bounce it again. 3. Hey. I love it. Hey, tell him I said, what's up, man?
Listen, he is listening. You know, we love you. We appreciate you so much. You know, listen, thank you so much for what you do for us. And you know I'm supporting you. You know I'm there.
Absolutely.
First time I'd be scared though. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna say a little bit in the chat. Then I'd be like, I'm gonna get ready to go up, and then all of a sudden y'all break out and somebody say, oh, tonight ain't the night. Let me fall back.
Well, you know what? Tuesday is gonna be amazing because we're talking about sexless marriage on Tuesday. So you be
I'm coming. I'm gonna be there because I feel like I can blend in there. But when how y'all men be getting together, y'all be scary to me.
Oh yeah,
I be like, I'm getting ready to sneak up, and then something come out, be like, oh no.
Well, all you gotta do is just send me a message on the side and be like, hey, listen, I need you to calm the storm before I get in there. I'll make sure I take care of it.
No, I enjoy it, but I'd be like, no, this is not a place for me. I'm not gonna be breaking the flow. But listen, I gotta get on you about something.
Uh-oh.
It was terribly funny. I ain't gonna laugh though.
Okay.
But the other night, Black Man, the way y'all did David, that thing was so funny. Listen, David was. What in the world was he? Oh my goodness! I mean, horn. I mean, everything. I mean, for about 30 minutes.
Yes, he was out. And you know what? Was your husband watching? Because I know he was probably rolling.
Oh, we was trying not to laugh. Then I can't help it. Then somebody else make some little commentary. Then I couldn't help it. And then I was like, I ain't gonna laugh. Please wake up, David. Please wake up, David. Still, he'll do a little bit. Then he's out again. I said, what is wrong with him?
Even Courtney was like, David, please wake up, please. And I put on the African drums for him and everything.
Oh, you did everything. You did the horn. You did it. I mean, y'all did everything. It was just. You start singing to him.
Yes.
The headphones couldn't have been on. Those headphones could not have been on.
Oh my God. And his daughter woke him up. That was the funniest thing, because when he woke up, he looked right into the camera and said, y'all show right. No, dude, you just missed 30 seconds. You missed 30 minutes of the conversation.
30 minutes. I mean, it was crazy. What the fuck? How are you? Listen, it was crazy.
Did you get a chance to see? He always bringing something to the platform. Did you get a chance to see him the week before? I had him in the background because I had somebody else come up. Nathan.
Oh, what the fuck? Or David?
David.
Okay. What the week before? What did he?
I pulled him off, and he said, that's fine. Put me in the back and bring him up. I said, cool. I'll put you out. I'll bring you back up later. So I'm looking down at the bottom of the screen. He took off his t-shirt. He got on his tank top. And so you got to go see the clip. I clipped it. Oh my God. So he had his t-shirt. He took his t-shirt out of his tank top, laying back in the chair. And I said, I'm going to get him. But it backfired on me because I put him up on the screen. And when I put him up, he looked at the screen and he started making his chest jump.
Uh-oh.
And when I tell you, I mean, everybody on the panel died. Like it just took us out. He was just
Yeah.
making his chest jump. He say, and you know, Sir Hale, he came in and said his little soliloquy. As soon as the picture came up, Sir Hale said, "Ooh, big sexy," and he just started making his chest jump. Oh my God!
Listen, y'all be having a good time. I really appreciate it. It seems like you got a good place for the men. If y'all don't know yet, go over to Black Men Unfiltered on Friday night. You will enjoy what you hear and bring something, add something to the panel. Cause I tell you, y'all be everywhere. I'm telling you, y'all be everywhere. So
now Tuesdays are a little bit more calm because
okay.
we have the women and the men on Tuesday. So we have a mixed panel. So that's why I invited you on Tuesday.
I'm coming tomorrow, but you're talking about sleepless marriages, though. I tell you, we went into that last night. I just can't imagine how it's gonna be tomorrow on your platform.
Oh my God!
Excuse me, I said sleepless. I'm talking sexless.
Sexless marriage.
Go hand in hand.
Yep. Sleepless and sexless, just sexless, just both the same thing.
Right. Listen, tonight though, we're talking about should we put our money in one pot?
My Lord.
Every time I say this, I get such what? And it's mostly from the ladies. You know it.
Yep.
So we're gonna talk about it. You already know what I think, but I want you to tell me what you think, because I kind of got an idea, because you dropped me a little note, but I want to hear it from you. What do you think about married couples, putting their money in a joint account? What do you think?
I think when you're single, you move as a single person. I think when you're married, you move as a married person. When you take vows, and you take those vows, and it says for sickness and health, through good times and bad times, through when you're broke, when you're not broke, all this different stuff that's in those vows. The vows cover a multitude of things that you may run into. And so then the Bible also says, if we're religious people out here, the Bible also says that you're becoming one. So one does not mean two. One means one. And so that means all your resources, all her resources come together and you live as one. I don't know where it got off. I know where it came from. Toxic single moms that teach their daughters never share anything with your husband. If you have to contribute something, but don't tell them how much you make. I know couples right now that are like that. The husband don't know what his wife makes, don't know what kind of money she makes, nothing.
That's not cool.
And I'm telling you, and I'm like, wow. And women always say, I need an account to the side in case I want to do something. Why does it that to me is kind of sneaky? Because my thing is, if it's all in one pot and you trust each other and you go to the store and buy something that you want and it's understood between the two of you, there shouldn't be any arguing. There shouldn't be anything. But I think that, like Sir Hale said last night, or somebody said last night, that it reveals who you are by what you spend and what you spend it on.
Yep. It's accountability. It does.
And I know a couple, I put this in the comments last night. I know a couple as well that are going through a real hard time right now because they had separate accounts. He had his own, she had her own. And one day he left that old laptop open and she went to go look up something on Google, because they share everything, but accounts. And she went on Google, tried to look on Google and seen his bank account there. He's been soliciting prostitution. He's an upstanding guy, right? You see him, you be like, oh, he's an upstanding guy. He loves the Lord. He's in church every Sunday. He's a father to his children. He's good. But in her, she looked in there, he's soliciting prostitution, getting hotel rooms, but she don't know it because it's a separate account. Wow.
So listen, let me say this first. Thank you for subscribing, Track Trucking, and Mr. Rucker. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here, Prenup Man. You know what? We need to get an update for Mr. Rucker because we get ready to be into February, and today's the last day of the month, isn't it? No, tomorrow is. No, today.
Today is.
He should have some updates for us. So, Mr. Rucker, you stay close by. But Black man, you are so right about this. Let me tell you something. We can share everything. We share sex, we share kids, we share the most intimate parts of our body, our minds, and everything. But for some reason, mixing that money is like the death of a marriage. It's
right.
Exactly. So you added something that was very, very important, because that's what my husband always says. He's always said when a person is not wanting to share their funds, it's usually to conceal something. We're hiding.
Right. Exactly.
we're hiding in one way or another. I wouldn't always take it to the extreme as far as prostitutes and things of that nature, but that's exactly, in that case, that's what's going on for women. They're buying some dresses or whatever, but whatever it is, we're not promoting the family dynamic as into forward this family.
Right.
And we also are not promoting the marriage as in becoming one, like you initially said. So what I'm trying to say to that is that, and I said it last night, so often everything I would say, okay, listen to this. Let me say it this way. We can do so many things that oppose our marriage, and then we'll complain about being divorced and how hard and how, she or he took the money, or how she's holding back on sex. We complain about it, all of it. And we do. But I will give you a suggestion. It's just a suggestion. I'm just telling you something that I've done that may have worked for me. Not a perfect situation. You still go through things, but then you complain about the suggestion. I'm saying, if you get married, why not pour into your wife the same way you pour into the prostitutes, the extra habits or whatever it is that keeps you with that separate account, just to see if this woman that you married to could become that. You know what I mean? Can become your everything because you did marry her. Or if you don't want to give up that life, don't get married.
Exactly.
Just don't do it. Stay away from it. I just want everybody to pour into the spouse that they have so they can have a good life because you're in it. Right. If you don't want to be in it, it's okay. I'm not trying to push you to be in it, but that ain't necessarily true. I do want everybody to be married. But if you don't want it and you're not ready for it, recognize who you are, because we're ruining each other.
Have you noticed? Because I watch you all the time, like, because you're an inspiration. You and your husband both are inspirations to me. So I watch you all the time, and I love the fact that you move, and the way you move is different from what these modern women now are thinking, right? And no matter what they say, you never move from what you believe. You stand in it, and that's one of the things. That's what we need more of. Not everybody conforming, because conformity today is amazing. You have one week you have a woman on the platform saying, women, we don't need to hold each other accountable. We are the table. We bring this, and then the next week they change completely after 2 or 3 women and got on them and got on their platform. And I've seen it. And so I thank God that you stick to your guns and that you don't allow the conformity to infect your situation in your platform. So because women are not listening to you. And if you go on these platforms and you're talking that good talk about, especially today when I was so hot, I was so pissed off. Oh, tell your husband I'm finna give him a revelation. One day we were sitting, and I was sitting and watching, and you had said something about your husband should supposed to smell good. You could pick your husband's clothes out and rub his head and rub his back and take care of your man. That's one. I got 2, but this is the first one. And they're looking at you like, you better, girl. I'm looking. And then another one you said was, I put my husband last night. Oh, go back and watch them facial expressions. I put my husband before I put myself. I put my husband before me. And when I get up in the morning, I have to cook my husband. I cook my husband breakfast because my husband has to eat. I don't need that. That's not a necessity for me. That's for my husband. They looking like,
right.
That's their face.
When you're in it, you can't do that. But black men, that's all true for me. That's my real life.
Yeah, that's true.
But guess what though? I also realize that I don't want to fail at being married. You know what I'm saying? So it's not I guess in some ways it's somewhat a duty for outside the fact I do need to cook my husband's breakfast in the morning, need to eat. I definitely want my marriage to work. I don't want to be divorced. I don't want this to break down. That, to me, that's the most devastating thing that can happen. Outside of death, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because now I've put all this energy into it and it didn't work. And it didn't work because I did what? Because I wanted to withhold sex. Because I was being selfish. Because none of that's good enough. You know what I'm saying? Now, I was on a show one time and I said, now, unless somebody come and tell me he's a serial killer, I'm going to be in this with him. But even if you told me he was a serial killer, I'm going to need some evidence. I'm going to have to see, I'm going to have to see these pictures.
Because everything don't move you. And that's the thing. A lot of people in relationships, and mostly women, because I believe, and I wish your husband would peek his head across that camera and agree with this. I believe that most men want to stick it out. I don't think a lot of men are just leaving. I really don't believe that. And I think that, so this is messages for the women. I think that men are not allowed men are not allowed to have any emotions. Men are not allowed to have feelings. Men are not allowed to be disagreeable. Men are not allowed to tell you that you've gained too much weight. Men are not allowed to tell you anything. You're allowed to tell a man anything, and it's okay. It's okay. But men are not allowed to have moments of weakness. Men have to be strong all the time. And I think that hurts a lot too, because men make mistakes, and men are not allowed to make mistakes. That's the biggest one, because now you make a mistake, or you say something wrong to your wife, or you have a moment of anger or temperamental, something happens, you argue, you may say the wrong thing to her. Some men are growing men, and some men get in marriages and they're growing.
Absolutely. I don't think all of them are, because especially if it's a new thing to you and you haven't done it before,
Exactly.
you got to figure out who you are as a leader.
And especially when you didn't grow up with any leaders. You didn't grow up seeing granddaddy was a pimp. Granddaddy was a Rolling Stone. Daddy was out there for the streets. And so now you're learning all of this on your own. And through those, and when you're making those mistakes, women today are not allowing you to.
No.
Either you're going to be a perfect husband or you out of here.
You're right. But listen to this, black man. Let me tell you this. I do stand on my square, but I stand on my square against men also.
Exactly. I know.
I see so many good men that are not perfect, that just need for someone to say hello to them. Someone to say, listen, hello, let me show you something. Because listen, I'm gonna tell you this. My husband and I had these discussions all the time. He's my bestie. And we talk about I gotta run it past him first, because I just have, I have to get his point of view. So I said, well, what was you actually taught as a man growing up? Even if he said I wasn't taught anything, but what I saw was just possibly provision. That was the only thing a man was responsible for, was provision.
Right.
They needed to go out and make some money. And that was basically it. So I told him, I said, gosh, that's terrible, because you needed to know that it was so much more to being a leader, a head of a house, having a wife. It's so much more to being a man than just having a job and bringing home the money. It's so much more. Y'all have a hard job.
Yep.
And I would think that some of you are very much afraid of it.
Yep.
Because when it's put out there in front of you, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You're responsible, and it all should fall on you. It really should. And that's why you need to have the helper.
Right.
And
pressure is for shoulders, not for hips. And I think that, when we deal with it, when men deal with the pressure, we have to have that. There's no reason for a man to go out into the world all day and he puts on this facade and he smiles. If you ever get an opportunity to watch the James Baldwin video of him and the young lady having a conversation, and they had a conversation about when he goes out and works hard and he's at work and he smiles at the boss, even though he don't like the boss, he don't want to be there. He smiles. It's a great example of what our black couples do. And she said, but listen, I want you to do something for me. When you come home, I know you're not feeling well, but smile at me. Show me that you love me. Act like you want to be here, even some days when you don't want to be here. She said, if you did it for your boss, come home and do it for me.
Absolutely.
And I think today we don't have that's why we need elders. Because elders like James Baldwin, that video it should be shown in every class, every couples class, every marriage class. It should be shown, because we don't separate it. Women go out into the workforce. Men go out into the workforce. Men come home and say, you know what, I'm tired. I can't help with no kids today. But women need your help. They need your help with the kids, right? I had to learn that as well. The women, I know I'm tired. I had a long day. I don't feel like giving my husband none. I don't feel like playing with these kids. I definitely ain't finna cook nothing. Go get a sandwich, some Doritos on top of the refrigerator.
But you know what, black man? Oh, that is part for me. Let me say hello to Peter. Thank you, Peter Investor, and thank you for your super chat. I appreciate you so much. Your $5. You did two $5 super chats. Thank you. Thank you for your.
I ain't hear that super chat music. Wait a minute. What?
Well, listen, due to due to one of our besties the other day, we needed to increase the value of the super chat song. So now the The money line song is now $10 because we still need to have these conversations. And
Oh,
some
okay.
people just love the music and want to hear the beat, and then we be beating all night long and not talking. So we had to increase the value. But Peter, I appreciate you, and I thank you so much for your super chat. But
Absolutely.
listen, I think that men and women need to be aware of what they have. Neither party are perfect, or some of them might even be broke down. But if your wife is someone that you chose, or your husband is someone that you chose, I think that is worth pouring everything you got into her or him to make her be for you.
Exactly.
Now, I think where we mess up so often is we're not intentional.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying that I have been. I'm just saying my husband and I are fortunate. He say, so play half the song. Listen, so my husband and I were fortunate though, because we have, our kids are adults, so we had like all this opportunity to be about each other and not have small kids around that would be taken away from he and I as we grew, So
Right.
I would say to young people getting married, be intentional about when you have your kids. Make sure your marriage is intact, solid. Make sure it's solid. So there's nothing that can break through it. There's no sleepless night. There's no I'm tired because of whatever. Make sure your money right. Make sure all of that is right. But I'm still saying put it in one account.
Yep.
Because I just think when you invest that much into your spouse, you do become one, and it will become a good thing.
Right.
It's nothing to be afraid of.
Why go through the process if you're not willing to go to the process?
That's the part I'm trying to get to. I don't know why I don't know why a man or woman would say, yes, I'm going to be with you. What is it? What is that about?
I have no idea. If you want to go through the process, but you don't want to go through the process, and you put on the dress, you invite all your family and friends, and you stand in front of the church and under the tutelage of God's word, and you say, I'm going to love you. I want to trust you. I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to be here when you make mistakes, when you don't. I'm going to be here when you're on your deathbed and when you're living good. I'm going to be here when you're broke. I'm going to be here when you got money. And you say those things, and then the next day, you don't change your accounts. You don't do any of that. You still have separate accounts. And then on top of that, now if you look at it, because I was reading this today, because I'm a nerd. I'm reading every day something. I got to read something.
You are read and finding stories. I started to call you and tell you find me a story, but go ahead.
I got you one, but I got you a couple. But I'm trying to be nice. But we have women out here now. I was reading an article today that most women that get married now do not even legally change their names.
Yeah, see,
so they're not changing their names, they're not changing their bank account. What is the point of being married if you're not willing to put yourself in position to be married? Marriage means if you marry unsolicited, your last name is unsolicited. I mean her husband. If you marry Mr. Unsolicited, you're gonna be Mrs. Unsolicited. If you get married, your funds and his funds come together, because the Bible clearly teaches us that togetherness is way better than division and separate.
We're relationship. We're that's how we flow. We're one supposed to be. That's supposed to be our daily goal. And for some reason, once we get into marriage, we do so much to be separate.
Exactly.
Let me tell you, as I was talking to you, it came to me that there's no sacrificing. It's nothing. It's not sacrificial. People go into marriage thinking, I want to say they have their own agendas. Yep. I have no way of proving that. I would like for people to actually be honest and let me know, but sometimes I don't even think they know. I don't know if it's an unconscious thing or is it just I never grew up. I never grew up, and I never had an example, because what you're saying, and I think what I'm agreeing to too, is that they don't have no idea what it is, no idea what marriage is. Even though they say the vows, they don't know what it looks like.
Right.
They don't know how much of them they need to give. Right. So they don't.
Yeah. And it's like I said, it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that all these people out here that are living divisive, and I know, I also know a couple, because I'll be around these things because I'm in the church groups and I'm in these different organizations with that couple, because I believe in that. And so have some couples, my husband went out and talked to another female, and for that reason I moved my money.
Oh, wow. Someone said in the chat that was the main concern is cheating. You know, that always that's funny to me. That is a woman's
Mm,
thing, but it was a woman that I'm dealing with now here and there, and the man pays
mm-hmm.
all the bills, and told her he'll pay all hers too.
Right.
So me talking to her, what makes sense to me because she never has any money
Right.
now, but he
Come on.
pays all the bills. So what makes sense to me is I said, well, why don't you put all your money in his account and then allow him to give you about $300 a month for whatever you want to do? I said, but you don't pay nothing. You don't pay that $300 is just for you. He said he basically, I'll take care of everything you need, medicines, gas, everything you need and your bills. And then on top of that, I'll just give you $300. I give you $300 a month to do whatever you want to do with.
Right.
She said, I can't do that because I don't trust him. I said, what do you mean you don't trust him? What you trust him with what? With what? And then for some reason, I couldn't get her to see that. This is what she said to me. Well, if I put my money in his account, that gives him the ability to run shod with my money. I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense.
Right. It's in there together.
You put money in one pot. How is it now your money when the man is paying everything?
Man.
I couldn't get it. She could not see it. She couldn't, because he'll be doing this. You know, he might be buying liquor. He might be, wait a minute. Now, don't he buy liquor anyway? You know,
Exactly.
I just could not get her to understand that nothing's happening here. You're missing the entire point. But guess what? He's not running your $300 that he agreed to give you.
Right.
Outside of, and then I said, I don't understand. I said, this is not making sense. And I said, has he ever missed paying a bill? No, never missed paying anything that supplies her the security and the shelter and the provision, because he buys groceries too. He buys everything that is of necessity and pays all the bills.
Yes.
But she could not see it. It was so amazing to me. I was like, I don't. Well, then she went on to say this, but what if his family members come and want to borrow some money? He might be lending him. So in other words, she really felt like her money that she was giving him was catapulting him to a different tax bracket. So now he gonna be, the money man, and he could do all these things that they were not doing together.
Wow.
Hello, Janie.
Hey, Jenny.
So, it was 2 cents. How are you? It was 2 cents uncensored. Let me say that. Don't let me cut your name off. But Black man, it was so funny to me that I was just like, oh my God, I don't believe I'm doing this. It was really unbelievable. And listen, she really believed wholeheartedly what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Really believe it. I said, are you telling me that you don't know when you're being taken care of? She had no clue.
And I bet it's rooted in mama.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. This is an elderly woman.
Oh my God.
So I don't know, but I was like, I was just stunned. It was almost like she could just not receive the blessing.
Lord have mercy on us. Bless her heart.
Could not receive it. And listen now, I'm not gonna lie to you about none of this. I want to say we've been discussing this for about 2 years.
Lord help her.
Trying to get this on the right track. Trying to get it.
She's stuck in her ways. That's gonna be hard.
I mean, but come on. Okay. Maybe I'm just too logical on that side. When in the beginning, and I've told this story for anybody who hasn't heard this story, the reason although it's the right thing to do, in the beginning of our marriage, my husband and I'm living as a single woman in my own apartment. He's living as a single man, his own apartment. We did very well as two separate people, single people. When we got together, for whatever reasons, we could not make it work separately. He was bouncing checks over here. Then I would tell him, well, go get it out of this account. Then he would cause me to bounce checks over here. It was just that way. Could not get it together, had no clue why. Later on, I think about it, and I said this, and it's kind of a joke because my husband liked to eat. A single woman like me, I didn't put no budget aside for food. I'm a single woman. Who cares about when I eat or what I eat? Whatever. 25 years old. I didn't care. My husband playing for meals. So, that was a big issue. So we fussed and we argued. I'm fussing at him. You the man, you messing up. What are you doing? How come we ain't got no money? I've been doing good without, all of that. Finally went to a pastor, like, look, put us on the right track. I don't know what we're doing wrong. It's crazy. He said, put your money in one pot. It was the simplest thing, made us feel like two big dummies because it never crossed either one of our minds that, oops, we are married now. We could put our money in one pot. Just never put the money in one pot. The money tripled. Because not only did we put it in one pot, it tripled. It also put us on the same page. Now we know what's coming and going. Hey, Bethany, now we know what's coming and going. We're seeing it. We take care of the necessities first, and then we take care of ourselves afterwards. And then the money continues to grow. You mature and all of that.
And it's a key to accountability.
Yeah.
You're not going to be spending crazy when you have a spouse looking like this. You're not going to go buy crazy stuff. You're not going to buy all the electronics. You're not going to buy all the dresses and the handbags.
No.
Because we're trying to build something here, and we got to have something here, and we're going to have something. I can't be spending this kind of money because I know my husband or my wife is going to see this.
Yep. And guess what else? What if your spouse is not the one that makes the arrangements? Right. What if she or he's the one that said, oh no, we're going to pay this bill. So by the time the other one look at it, the money's gone. The bill is paid. Yep. And guess what? We're sleeping good another whole month.
Mm-hmm. And that's
you got some people go a whole month, don't pay their bills so they can go out of town.
Irresponsible.
Right. So you just can't be that way. It like you said, it's all about accountability. Again, though, back then we weren't thinking that. We was just trying to stop bouncing checks. But then as you grow, you get more money, then you begin to have more money. Then you say, okay, gave you a little bit. Now he's giving you more to manage. And then you just get better at it. So when I hear people talk about these joint accounts and I can't do it, I'm thinking, wait a minute.
What you had?
Yeah, because my husband's never told me, no, don't spend no money. I'm looking at it just like he's looking at it. If the money is not there, I can't spend it.
And you have to have a limitation. So, hey, listen, baby, everything's in the account. Right? I'm not bossing you around. You're not bossing me around. But let's get a number. And we should have a number. And when we get to that number, that's when we should discuss the funds. So exactly. let's say, for instance, we don't want to go over a $300 purchase. If it gets up to $300, we need to have a conversation.
Right.
And then we'll both decide if that's something that we need or something that we can move forward on.
Right.
But anything under $300 is both of our money. We're both living together. You're responsible. I'm responsible. Now, listen to this because, I'm a statistic man. You can go to blackdemographics.com, I think it is, and look at this. 75% of marriages, there's a spender and there's a saver.
Absolutely.
And you got to be willing to meet in the middle. Women, you can't get mad because you married a spender, but you're his help. So you need to be able to help him understand the money
bigger
management
picture.
part of things, the bigger picture, right? Yes. And vice versa. Right?
But don't you think that's what it's there for? Mm-hmm. Don't you think that's what the wife or husband, vice versa, the accountability partner, the first one should be your spouse. You should never look outside the house for an accountability partner when you got one right there in front of you that's sharing the same everything that you're sharing.
Yep.
And
they're your help. And they're your help. And it's the thing that gets me. Well, I'm about to preach. The thing that Mr. Unsolicited, here comes. The thing that I always like talking to him in the background. It's like I got a third party back there rooting for me. But anyway, so one of the things that get me is we marry, and we know biblically it says that the wife is the helpmate, right? She is to help. Mm-hmm. And a lot of women out here that are in relationships that say, I ain't sharing my money. Girl, he irresponsible. Girl, he don't do this. He don't do this. Nope, not sharing my money. My thing is this. We're looking at this from a biblical standpoint at the bigger picture. We look at it like this. If your husband ain't where he needs to be, then you're not only talking about your husband, but you're talking about yourself because you are the helpmate. And so your lack of help is a reflection of what your husband needs help with. And what your husband needs help with, you ain't helping him with it. So both of y'all look crazy.
It goes back to what you said. I make sure my husband smell good, that skin is nice, and that head is nice
Right.
and all. And it goes back to that.
And the
My
women
whole
that's rolling their eyes, the women that's rolling their eyes, their husband up
oh,
between somebody else's eyes. Come on, somebody.
wow. That's what I'm saying. You got to help because guess what though? They still haven't become one. They don't get it. We got to be one. We got to function that way. What affects him affects me. It can't. That's the problem we're having. Now, how do you get people on that track? We just got to keep talking about it because that's the goal. The goal is if he hurts, I feel it. If I hurt, he feel it. So then if we want to make each other happy, well, then neither one of us need to hurt, you know. We got to get on the same page. And I just, to hear people complain about it so much, it does it's a couple things that bothers me. It bothers me that we complain about it so much, husbands and wives. I don't like women talking about men the way that they do. And I hate when vice versa, men talk about women too. I don't like that because it doesn't help the fact. We understand that they're failing, but guess what? Are we doing what we got to do to bridge these gaps, especially married men? Now, these single people out here, I get it. I see them. I see what they're doing. But for me, that's a red flag for a man. She ain't the one. Keep moving. Keep going. Go to the next one.
You got so many women that are so, and I'm not saying this in the worst way. I'm saying this in the most loving way possible. You got so many women that are broken from conception.
From the womb, huh?
From the womb. And let me tell you why. It's hereditary, that it flows through the bloodline.
You ain't got to tell me why. I understand that.
Because for the people that's listening, because security boss, she already on top of it. But I'm from conception, your mom or your dad, it can go both ways. Your mom went out and slept with a married man, got pregnant with you. That's already messed up.
Did you say a married man?
Oh yes. Yes. Your mama go out and seduce a man, or vice versa. Your daddy go out and seduce a woman and get up and have a baby. That baby's already born toxic.
Yep.
Right, because the father's over there with his wife and kids, and you're stuck at home raising a baby. Then during that time of the pregnancy, the woman is stressed, depressed, don't know what to do, mad, angry, and so that child is in the womb of an angry, mean and mad person. Then when the child comes out, the mother then talks about what the father ain't, what he was, what he ain't. When you the one seduced him or slept with a married man when you should have known better. Now you're turning your child against the father. And now the father can't be in the child's life because the mother kept the father out and then tells the daughter that the father don't want to be in her life. Then 30 years later, I'm telling you from what I know people that were going through. Then 30 years later, the daughter finds out that the father was at the door every day and the mom was kicking him out. And then now she's dealing with it. Now she's going the same path. Married man, child. And then now she's toxic. And now you go and you find the loving part of her and you marry her. Now you're dealing with a woman that has generational curses that's attached to her that she didn't even know about. And so those broken people, those are the people that say, I want my separate bank accounts. Not all, but some. I want my own account. I want my own things because they haven't healed. A lot of women out here and men need healing. And they have to do the work to go through the healing process in order to be able to share their wealth, to share their knowledge, to share their understanding. And the Bible says, in all you're getting, get understanding. Understand why you're toxic. Understand why your mama act like that. Understand why your mama, and that's what I'm saying. God does everything for a reason. I'm finna shut up. God does everything for a reason. When you see your mama sitting in the house single and miserable and looking and want a man in her life, want a man cuddle up with her. Every Christmas she's alone. When all the kids leave, the grandkids leave, she's there by herself. She don't have no man, don't have nobody. She's almost 80 years old, still working at Walmart at the door, greeting people. It's because she didn't want to share life with anybody. She came from bitter. And if you see her, God is showing you, look, you're going to be just like this if you don't get it together. You found a man that loves you, that wants to be with you. It's time for you to get the help you need and to structure your home in a way under God and what it's supposed to be. Instead of you living through your mama, you live through what God has for you and through the leader and through your husband. I mean, this stuff is too easy.
This stuff is deep. It's deep because you know what? You mentioned going with the married men. It's very toxic and what it can do to the womb. But for some reason, lots of them go back a second time and do it all over again. And then be on
YouTube channels. These men
Ain't
I
hit
got
no
yeah,
nothing.
I got 3 baby daddies in 3 months, and no, no, no,
But
no.
listen, let's talk about this a little bit because I definitely agree. But what kind of direction are you going in when you say healing? Because you get no better healing but following the principles of God. So what are you speaking of when you say healing?
Well, when I say healing, I mean this. This is where we start. You have to have a foundation, which is God. I think God is the essential foundation. For non-believers, I don't have an answer for you, but I will, and I'll try my best to try to help you as well. Not saying I have anything against you that you're not non-believer, but anyway, you have to have God first. You have to have the foundation in God, and that's a reflection of your behavior, your reflection of how you respond to people. It's all about God. The Bible teaches us to be Christ-like. We can't be Christ because they say he's the only perfect being to walk the earth, but it says to be like him. And so you have to be Christ-like. You have to be knowing how to forgive. And I've had to tell some family members that as well about forgiveness. The Bible says that I think it was Paul asked Jesus, he said, how do we forgive? Do we forgive him 7 times? Jesus said, no, we forgive 70 times 7.
Mhm.
So we must continue to forgive. We must continue to,
But black man, let's hold up for a minute. Let's go back a little bit.
yes,
I'm gonna put a little I can't be that other thing advocate because I ain't gonna put that on me in any way. But I want to say this. When you say God, I say the Father.
yes,
Because I believe he dwells for us all.
yes, exactly,
Even if I don't believe upon you,
exactly.
he's still in control.
Right. Because the Bible says God blesses the just and the unjust.
Exactly. So we don't have to, gosh, I can't let that come out my mouth, but we don't have to per se follow what we follow. Let's just say it like that.
Right. Absolutely.
there still
Mhm.
there still is a way. There still are those principles that nobody can change.
Exactly.
No matter
And-
what my belief system is, those principles are still there. And every whatever belief system that you know of has principles.
mm,
Even those who don't believe in that, they have some sort of principles they have put out
yeah,
on how to live.
exactly.
Because the first pushback you're going to get is that I'm not a Christian. No, you don't have to be.
You don't have to be.
That is a religion. This is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about that. We're talking about God the Father. And that's just what he is. Those are principles that come straight, that are innately in you most of the time. But when we do things that take us away from that, then, and when I say innately, I'm talking about right and wrong.
Right.
So I hope I didn't throw you off a bit.
No.
But
I'm good. And
I
so
just don't want to leave anybody out, because when you just make it just for a certain group of people, the other ones feel like they can do what they want.
exactly, they're looking for a way out. So I'll say this. So let's not talk about it strictly that. I'll say this here as a whole. Wherever this is coming from therapy, this is coming from psychologists. This is what they say. Whatever age you had your trauma is the age you stay. Mindset and everything that you learn. So if your trauma happened at 12, everything you saw your mama do, heard your daddy do, heard your mama say, heard your daddy say, that lives with you. Anything that happened to you sexually, anything that happened to you in school, fights, bullying, anything that happens, you stay trapped because you have not gotten the help to release yourself from that trauma. And so since you're in that trauma, what you have to do, you have to take a sabbatical within yourself. And sometimes it takes you getting away. Go somewhere and get you a 1-bedroom cabin somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Just you. No cell phone, no cable TV, no Facebook, no social media. Just you and and you just go sit down and you have a conversation with that age of the time that the trauma hit you. So talk to your 12-year-old self. Because I've learned this by watching these different psychiatrists talk about these different things. Sit down with your 12-year-old self and tell your 12-year-old self it's okay to love. It's okay to forgive. It's okay to move forward. It's okay to do the work. It's okay to sit down and tell somebody your pain. Go to therapy. Sit down and go to mama and sit down with mama and say, Mama, you know what? This is how you made me feel when I was 12. You neglected me. I felt unheard. Go to them. Talk to them. Right? And if it don't, and if you don't get reciprocation from those people that you're asking for forgiveness from, you've done your part. But that releases something in you for you to grow into the person that you were created to be. See, I'm a big National Geographic fan, and they did Shark Week on Discovery. That's Discovery. They did Shark Week, and they had bull sharks on Discovery. And bull sharks are very they're good for their area and their surroundings. And if you take a bull shark, they grow to be potentially 25 feet. 20 to 25 feet. But if you take a bull shark and take him to Unsolicited's house and put it in a 5-foot aquarium, that bull shark will not grow past 5 feet. That's what's happening in our community. We have so much potential to be what we were created to be, in the length and the size and the talent and all this other stuff. We can grow to be 25 feet, but we're in the aquarium, and the aquarium represents mother's toxicity, daddy's toxicity, sexual assault, all these different things that you've gone through. You're in that aquarium and you haven't grown to your potential because you're in the wrong place. That's stopping you from growing. You have to be willing to grow. And you got to get out. You got to get out of the aquarium.
So, black man, you are being purified by that fire that's above your head.
Woo!
Hey, there you go.
Hey,
it's gonna be blue in a minute, but anyway,
I'm trying to tell you.
that fire doing you just right.
So
listen, though, black man, you are right, but I don't know what's keeping us. But we got to get, if we really want to get back to marriage and strengthening up, I would say just the world in general, because people are really fighting against marriage. And that's where our strength lies. Family is the strength. Family yields community, and community yields power and access and togetherness. And that's the only way you can fight anything, is if you have a community. And we can't even get the family right because we can't get the marriage right.
Yep.
And I hate the fact that it seems as like we're just almost done.
Yep.
I get so disappointed because it almost seems like we're done. And every time, and it's just like a silent killer. It's a silent killer because I mean, I don't even know if this is what we want anymore. I hear a lot. I gather that many people don't want it. It's just, it's a silent killer. And if we want more, like you said, we want to release the potential, we first got to get it. And definitely being married is, for me, the first step. But in order to make it work, you got to put in the work. Listen, guys, when you're coming into the chat, make sure you're giving me a thumbs up. I appreciate you all for being here. Thumbs up, please. It's for free. But selfishness is pure selfishness. But we got to get past it. We got to figure out. I really don't think we understand what's going on. I don't think we understand the silent killer that's here.
Right.
I just think it's moving around and it's doing what and using us, just using us. Yep. And we don't see it. Because everything I say, and you've been there a couple of times, you said if I say that I take care of my husband, I put him before me, I do this, I get the side eye. If you don't want to do it and your marriage is still working and y'all still working together as one, it's okay. Right. These are just things that I do. This is like the question is my customer service. I'm still trying to get that grade A because I want to be happy in my marriage. If I'm going to live to 80 and I'm going to be with this one man, I can't be unhappy, Right. So if I got to do something to keep a certain amount of happiness for myself and what joy, these are the things that I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
And what else I'm gonna do? Do it out in the street for somebody else, or be by myself, like you said, and get me a dog?
Yep.
I'm not interested. A dog can't talk back. I hope not.
Right.
I hope so. Yeah, I know. People doing crazy things with dogs anyway. But you know what? You said something a moment ago, and I hope this doesn't dampen. I guess it will a little. But did you hear on the news today how the young lady, Miss USA?
Yeah, that's what story I was going to bring to you earlier.
Okay.
30 years old, out of here.
She's from my neck of the woods.
Beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Beautiful woman. I
mean, did you hear how it happened though? Oh, you got the article, so you know what they're claiming she did.
I saw this is going to shock you. I saw the clipping. And when I was reading it, I was working on a deal. So I was like, man, okay, I didn't get a chance to read it. So you tell me what happened, because I didn't read the entire article. I saw that she passed away. by taking herself out of here.
Yeah, jumping out the window, jumping off the balcony. And Captain Executive, how are you? Jumping out
What's
either
up, Cap?
balcony or window of a Manhattan apartment or a hotel.
Wow.
I didn't get how many stories high, but you can imagine.
Wow.
And I'm just like not wanting to accept that for nothing in this world. I'm giving her all type of benefit of the doubt. Somebody was up there, did something. I'm just not accepting that this happened to this young lady.
Right.
But she's gone. So when you talk about traumas and 29th floor, Bethany says it was 29th floor. Oh God.
Oh, that's a horrible way.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just not even willing to accept that. So it's like, no,
baby, that's what I just want. If I could just been there 10 seconds before she did that, baby, what's wrong? Like,
they took pictures. She has a picture, or it looks like a photo shoot was done right before she released it. Right before that time was they figured to be the time frame for that. A photo shoot. She got a picture that I guess it's on IG. I'm not sure. A photo shoot, full makeup and everything. Looked sad in the picture, but it was a more so art sad. Looked like art. Like they were trying to.
Yeah, they were trying to make it. Yeah, but it was natural for her though, because she was probably going through.
I don't know, but that means somebody was with her.
Yep.
It's just sad, but it goes back to what you were saying though. Healing, trauma. You don't ever want to get to that.
Right.
So, when someone is giving you alternatives and they saying, let's do this, let's do that. And I think you were there last night when they said, well, why don't we seek out therapy, or why don't we seek out healing? And some people was like, because our history, you're crazy, you're this and you're that.
That was me that said that. Yeah, I said that. I said it's like
yeah. Mm-hmm. For me, I think it would be, not for me particularly, but I think a lot of it too is what you would have to say, things that you would have to release. Right. Some people take things straight to their death, things that are so bad or things that they think are so bad and unusual. I'm here to tell you that there's nothing that's new under the sun. If you did it, somebody else did it before you. So release it, especially if it's turmoil in your life that is keeping you from reaching your potential. So I'm not recommend. Well, yeah, I would recommend if you're having that type of turmoil, you need to, because we have to move forward. We cannot keep crying about each other.
Right.
If we're in these marriages, you got to be able to have a bank account with the person that you're having sex with.
Yeah, and that's I know people be like, oh, he always got a saying, but that's amazing to me that you can give me sex and I can hear your moan, but when I run out of money, I got to ask you for a loan. It doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense. I can go in the room and tear it up, but you can share your body with me. So that means money is worth more than yourself.
Yeah, it's showing that we have no value.
Yeah.
I don't get this. I don't get it. Somebody gotta tell me something.
I'm confused.
And we're not talking about, listen, we're talking about average folks too.
Yeah. We're not millionaires.
Millionaires. There you go. We're not talking about the millionaire. We're talking about average folks that have a job. They get their checks direct deposited in their accounts. They are like, no, you can't. Come on. Somebody said you ain't got but $3 over your bills. What are you doing?
Yep.
What are we doing?
Yep.
Why can't we relax? I mean, you know what? These are just fears that I think that we've created for ourselves, because whether you putting the money in one account or not, if the man is wanting to cheat, get him another one, exercise his options. Guess what he doing?
Mm-hmm.
He doing it. Yep. If the woman wants to sneak and lie and cheat, buy dresses or whatever, it ain't gonna matter if your money's in one account. She's gonna do it. Yep. And that's just gonna show you who she is. Yep. So take the step to becoming one. It's a sad case that we
becoming one, and all that stuff that you so eloquently talk about on these other platforms and your own. Nobody's listening. Nobody cares anymore. Women say, "Listen, I'm independent. I listen." They're giving men ultimatums. Listen, if you're gonna be with me, I got my own. You got your own. Period. If you don't want that, bye. It's just that's what they are. That's what they say.
You know what, Black man? That's so funny that you would say that, because let me say this to you, and it's going to probably sound weird, but I'm very independent. I'm very independent. I am. We have a comment here. I have been listening to you for only 1 week and have already seen changes. I think and salute you, my sister. This came from what was her name? Fancy Ketchup.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. So there are some people that are listening.
Yes. Hey, shout out to you, Fancy Ketchup. Shout out to you, girl. You're
But
doing
I
the work.
am, but you to go back to that comment that you made. I feel as though I'm very independent.
Mm-hmm.
But I respect my husband, respect and trust my husband to the utmost.
My Lord.
You know, that I don't, he's never taken my independence away. You know what? To tell you the truth, he would say, I want a woman that's independent. I don't want no woman that's docile, that can't do nothing, that can't help me. I told y'all my husband be towing trucks, and I told you, I said he has showed me every aspect of every business he has owned to make sure that if something happens to him, I got to be able to take care of myself. This life got to go on. So I can't be so dependent that I don't know anything, but I still have to respect and understand the dynamics of my marriage.
And you know what? And for your husband in the background, it's for him. I know he finna laugh. I gotta get him a laugh today. Hey man, you take care of yourself. Don't you leave here early because I'm telling you right now, the day of your friend, them dudes gonna be lined up at your catch coming to see you. Just make sure you gone so they can get it unsolicited. Hey, you know how to get it. You know how to get up at the funerals. You know how to get up at the funeral. Go ahead, play it, Doc. Yeah, they're gonna be at the funeral. Sister Unsolicited, you know we love you. If you need anything,
Just call me.
Just call me. You're so beautiful and wonderful. It's my number.
And you know what, too? And I know I would say that to some and they would think, yeah, but that's your husband. That's not my husband is special to me. But I think that every husband could be that way.
Exactly. But they're not given the opportunity to be.
Yeah, I don't think my husband's anything different from a everyday man. Mm-hmm. It's just that the way that we went into it is not perfect. You know, we have issues because we're two different people, but we're still trying to be one. And I'm understanding of him being different from myself and me. But to come with that independentness, you know, I have a whole lot more than I have with my husband than I would if not. And I saw it from way back then. So it was just, you know, it was just what I needed to do.
So can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult for say for instance, when men when women going through something, a man is some men, not all, but some are so understanding to say, you know what, I understand you grew up that way. I'll give you some grace. I'll be patient with you. I'll do whatever I can. Right? Why are women given such leeway to go through the process, but men are not allowed to go through the process?
I don't know why that's like that. I guess, let me tell you this. Let me say this, and then you can help me out from that end. My husband was willing to do the process with me of becoming one. I think sometimes, and maybe not now, because men now are really speaking for themselves, standing up, wanting to be engaged, wanting to be fathers. You all are really into it now. Not you particularly, you know, you're married, but I'm saying young men. You know, when I was dating, when my husband and I first got married, he made sure that he engaged me. You know, and not to take away from anybody else, but I do know there's a whole lot of men's nights where they prefer to go with the man.
Exactly.
Or they want to hang out with the guys, or they prefer to go to the basketball game with their friend guy or their buddy or whatever. Whereas for whatever reason, my husband made me his friend, his best friend. So when we went to the basketball game, I went with him. It wasn't, I'm going to take my bud Anthony tonight, we'll get you to next week. No, I went with them. When, you know, if my husband, I think Charles had a interesting thing he said, when I have a buddy that's into cars, fast cars. Do you not think if my husband went to somewhere with fast cars, he would leave me somewhere? I'm what? I love fast cars.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it looks manly. I like fast cars. How you not gonna take me?
Right.
You know, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, and like last night again. You know, I'm just watching, monitoring. Even when you said me and my husband together all the time, and we've been together for this many years, and we be together all the time, and I still like my husband. I still love my husband, and they be like, it's like
A strange thing, but I think that's what is required. Now, why would you not want to do it? Why would you want to hang out with some darn girlfriends?
Right.
When your husband's saying, listen, let's go, hunt, not hunting, but the new adventure. Let's go skiing. You ain't never done it before. Let's go. I'm gonna go with the girls tonight. It's girls' week. What? No.
Right.
He's not dissing me for God. Now listen, if me and him done something 5 times and he say, you know what, the guys want me to go, sleep out in the wilderness. We're gonna have a meal, whatever. I'm like, well, I ain't doing that,
Right.
But his first choice has always been me. He's always been my first choice. So we just kind of built that type of relationship. And I think that's what is required for marriage. But so often couples don't see it that way. They telling themselves that they need a little bit of the world just to make it. I need a little bit more of this Instagram. I need a little bit more of this Facebook. I need a little bit more of these girlfriends, my bridesmaids. They were at my wedding and they were in my wedding. Now I got to bring them on into the marriage because I got to bounce some things off of them. And it's just not like that. That's keeping you a little bit away from your husband. And instead of allowing your mindset to totally change and becoming one with that husband. Corey says a trip to the coast to 4x4 sand dunes. Yes, I got to go with my husband. Why would I go with a group of women?
Yep.
Why would my husband leave me and go with a group of guys? We're just not indulging. We got to hold on to this world and what it thinks we should be doing. Hold on to this world and do what it looks like for them, instead of creating our own scenarios. Now, again, if you are in a successful marriage and you're happy and you and your husband have these outings, or you bringing the bridesmaids in and he got the guys' nights or whatever, if that works, then fine. I'm not telling you not to do it, but I'm answering your question, Black man, onto how we did it, that now we don't bother each other if we're in the house together.
Right.
He doesn't have to say, well, listen, I'm gonna go out and meet the guys, because let me tell you something. That would, for me, if my husband was that type of guy, I would be concerned or maybe a little insecure about what they're doing.
Right.
I would, versus him not doing it and willing to hang out with me.
Right.
Him willing to hang out with me, I'm not thinking about, wonder if my husband is cheating, because he's sitting right there in front of me and I know what he's doing. So, and I think that might come, he may have done it this way because his first wife did cheat on him. So, we're going to do whatever, we're going to flee the appearance of sin or whatever. We're not going to even go that direction. We're going to go another. And so I think that may be something that he decided to do just from being in a situation that wasn't good.
Right. And like you said, I remember, because I told you I listened to everything. Like you said, a whole bunch of shows back. You was like, yeah, and he has a best friend. If he want to go out and sit out there in the yard with a beer or a cigar or something with his bud, that's fine. You was like, he's a brother to you as well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
he chooses what he does. But he doesn't leave me in any way but good. I never wonder what my husband is getting into. I'm not going to trust him. He ain't coming home with no airplane. He ain't coming home with no boat,
Right.
So listen, let me shout out this super chat. Thank you, Mr. Awesome. Speaking of cars, did my oil change? Oh, you did your oil change yesterday and found out that a 5-liter bottle of oil is 2 times at an auto store, $30 than anywhere else, $16. Salute, security box. Listen, Mr. Awesome, I got to tell you something. I don't think you heard me when I did my live with Chicago Rilla, but I got to tell you something. I sold my Hellcat.
What?
Yes. Black man, you didn't know it.
Why?
Because the dealership called me and asked me, did I want to sell it? They said that they had a collect, this year's the last year for it. And mine was, listen, I had a 2020 wide body Hellcat, black. And I only had 9,000 miles on the car. I very rarely drove the car. So they called and asked, me to, did I want to sell it? And I was like, well, you know what? I don't know. So they said, come up. We want to take a look at it. I went up there and they offered me nearly $20,000 over what I bought the car for. So I had to give it to them. And they said that a collector, was going to buy the car. And listen to this. This is the fun part, though. They told me, they told me a lot, but they told me this. This is what was funny. They allowed me to leave the YouTube stickers on the car. They said, leave them there. Don't take them off. And they drove it right in on the showroom floor that night that they bought it from me.
Wow.
So, yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? I couldn't say no. I was like, huh? And I love that Hellcat. I mean, the way it whined, oh my God, I love that Hellcat. But I was like, I was almost nearly 20 with that and me turning in the tag. And because I got that car July of 2020 was when I took delivery of it. So I had it, what? Was it a year? Yeah, just over a year. Yeah, I sold it in December. Yeah, just over a year, 18 months. And I only had 9,000 miles. So they was like, we want it. And I said, okay.
Wow.
They just came out, was like, we'll give you this. And I was like, what? And then my husband called me on the phone and he was like, what did they say? I said, they said this. He was like, okay, I'm gonna come pick you up. So
yeah, that's his answer. He ain't got to say nothing else.
Pick you up. Don't worry about it. Leave it there. Because it was on a Sunday and it was late and it was like, well, maybe we'll just do the deal tomorrow. They was like, no, just drive it in on the showroom floor. And I was like, I'm gonna take my stickers off. They was like, no, leave your stickers on. So somebody somewhere is driving around with YouTube security box stickers on that car, unless they've taken them off by now. But it's funny, they did. They took it away.
Wow.
Okay, now what I'm getting next? Oh, gosh, I don't know. I know I got my eyes on a couple of things, but I can't even say right now because it's hard to get a car.
Since you're a car connoisseur.
Oh yeah, I love cars.
How do you feel about? A lot of people don't like it now. But how do you feel about the new Corvette?
I have one. I love it.
Do you have which one?
2021.
Oh, you love it?
Yes. You never see black. Oh, you know what? Though I keep forgetting. Okay, I am unsolicited now. But when I started out, I was making the cut. Making the cut, it had all my cars on there.
Right.
So I don't have anything on unsolicited that shows my cars. But black man, we bought the Corvette in April of 2021. So my husband loves it. We call it the superhero. It's got a tag on the back that says superhero.
What color?
It is gray. Oh God, yeah. It's just not gray. That's not the name of. That's not the official name. It's called Silver Flare, and it's got red. It's Silver Flare, which is like a gray, and then it's red and black. And it has a convertible top. He done put new exhaust on it, new wheels on it. It has just been the pride and joy of the family.
Yes, so I know that.
That's what I drive. Yeah, you go to my IG channel, you can see it. That's my new daily driver.
Right.
Until I get another car. I hate driving it though because it's almost like people just be coming to get you. It's like, So listen, I have a super chat here from Jay. It says, I would love spending time with my wife. Those times are precious to me. I ain't never excluding my wife from activities. I know she would do it for me. You are, Jay, you got it. I'm telling you, my husband never excludes me. Now, if I say no, then that's me saying no. Now, vice versa. I can go shopping. Sometimes he feel like it. Sometimes he don't, like that. But we go to dinner. It's just not a big deal for me to hang out with him. I appreciate him.
Right.
And I just think that's what we got to get to as couples and being married. But I love that Corvette.
Shout out to Jay. Shout out to you, Jay.
Jay, thank you so much for your super chat. And listen, I appreciate it. Keep doing that. Keep doing it. We have to invest in each other. We have to do whatever we got to do to become closer. Oh, Fave, what? Bye. Turbo G-Wagon. No, don't like the Turbo G-Wagon, but I like that GLE with that big Mercedes symbol on the front. I do like that. But cars are so hard to get right now, though, guys. I got to wait. They've already told me, 6 months to a year,
Wow.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Who knows when I want another car, though, but I'm not in a rush. I got something to drive, and but Yeah, I can't wait though. I can't wait, but I'm excited about that next purchase, Black Man. I am, because I love
Yeah.
cars.
We finna hit the beat. We about to hit the beat. I see a $20.
Exactly. You get the money line song.
Hey.
Here it goes.
Here we go.
Bring it in, Black Man.
Hey. I can hear it already. Hey.
It's so retarded. It comes in when it won't.
There it goes.
Money line.
Hey. Yeah.
Thank you, Captain Executive, for your $20 super chat. But listen, it's amazing. But even with that, Black Man, I like cars before my husband liked cars.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another interest. So I don't know what we're doing. I'm not gonna say wrong, but I just don't know where we go left. Because in the beginning, you know, everything is good. Everybody's loving everybody. So listen, guys, we're gonna drop the link in the chat. We want y'all to come up and add to this discussion. I know we got off a little bit. You start talking about cars. Security boss loses her mind. So
I know it.
Forgive me for that. Mr. Awesome, you did this. But listen, I appreciate you because I know how you feel if you got that Hellcat. I only had the opportunity to have one oil change in my Hellcat, and it was free because, you know, it was a new car. But listen, y'all come up, because what we're talking about, the topic of tonight was basically having one bank account. But of course, that leads into so many other things, because that's just a byproduct of all the issues that we have within marriage. And we're trying to have some solutions. Now, what I want everybody to do, if you are married, is do something different. You know, if you're not pouring into your spouse, wives are not pouring into your husbands, do it. You know, just to see what kind of a change you'll get, you know, in the things that he do and the things he'll do for you, how happy he will be.
Right.
You know, if you go home, you come home, men, y'all come home and the woman ain't doing nothing for you. She ain't even being nice to you. That's why men be so mean and hateful. You know, don't want to do nothing.
Hey, Black Man. Hey, man, ain't got to talk to you today, man. Back on, bro.
Yeah, like you said, get on the phone, be giggling with the girlfriend. What?
Mm-hmm. There are women.
Pull that phone out the wall.
I'm telling you, I've been in situations where I've seen it firsthand, where a woman can be like, "Get on, man. I don't feel like talking. Get on." And the phone, "Hey, girl, what's up?"
No, that can't be the case. I want to know. I want to talk to somebody who did that and want to know why they did it. You know, maybe we have a problem forgiving. Maybe women have a problem forgiving. You think? You can tell me. You can tell me. I mean, I'll forgive. I don't forget nothing, but I'll forgive. I'll go on with my life, but I don't want to be unhappy. I don't want to spend my life downtrodden. You know, it might give me frown lines or something.
And you know what I've heard also? I heard this in a group session, in a married group session at my church. I heard a young lady at my church say these words. Her husband's concern was, and he brought it out to everybody because he really wants help for his marriage. And he said, guys, I really want to make my marriage work. And he said, she treats her family members differently than she treats me. They get her love and affection. He said, and most of the people in her family have dogged her out since she was a kid. And she's laughing, kiki in their face, loving. He said, there's nothing wrong with that. But what about me? You know, you get mad at me, you hold it against me for a month, you get mad at them, they never see it. And you always, you know, and so his question was, why is it like this? And her response to him was, in front of the entire group, was, the reason that I'm like that with them is because it's different relationships. I have to sleep with you every day. I don't see them every day.
Okay, he understood that. Did anybody understand that?
No. Well, some of the women in the class, that is true. That is a different type of relationship. She on to something.
No, you understand and losing your life. Let him flip out one day and you over there sleep beside him and see what happened to you. See, we take for granted that everybody's solid.
Right.
They're gonna be solid forever. You don't know what people go through. If a man is crying out to you saying, I need this. First of all, it took them a long time to get there because mostly men hide their emotions.
Yes, and that's why.
And then you think you get to play with it. You don't know. That night might be that night. Come on.
Yep.
No, I'm not doing that. No, we need to be smarter. We need to be way smarter. So listen, y'all, the link is in the chat. If you have any questions or want to add to the conversation, please do. Just make sure you're camming up because we don't want any
Problems.
surprises, problems, concerns,
Right.
none of that. We want y'all to be real.
And you know what, Security Unsolicited, you just said something so marvelous. You said that you never know when it's that night. When women, listen to this. Let me get close to the mic. Maybe I can get a little deep with my very, very white voice or something. Ladies, if a man opens up to you, that means he's really trying to love you and he wants you to love him back. There's something missing that he's desiring. It is very hard for a man to do that. So when he does that, you have to be careful with what he's giving you. Because if you're not careful, you're playing Russian roulette with this man.
Okay, so listen, I heard you and I can understand that and I received that. But I need you to say that one more time. And I need you to put emphasis on the very important words. You choose what those words are. But somebody needs to hear you because it's happening too much now where men are on edge, but they look real normal.
Yep. I'll be like this. Hey, son, Solicitor, how you doing today, girl? Good. And later on, breaking news.
Exactly. But they're creeping around in the middle of the night. They're going to the ex-wife's house. And then they're going over the girlfriend's house. And then look, they already planned it out. They're going to end the night with themselves. So I need you to say exactly what you say it again. But I need you to put emphasis on a couple of things because this is real. I mean, it's really real, guys. People, it's just that time. And it's a bad time for us. I don't know if it's because of that C word or whatever, us being locked away for the last 2 years, not being able to have love and hugs. And, I don't know. But this is a very trying time. Mental illness is very high and you don't know where your spouse is on that little pendulum if you ain't checking in. But I know what you don't want is you don't want a whole bunch of arguing and fussing and a bunch of what you're not doing if this man is trying to come to you at a vulnerable moment and share with you.
Yep. So I'm going to say it again.
Say it again.
Ladies, if a man comes to you, no matter what you've been through, no matter how much hell you've gone through, no matter what the marriage has gone through, just like women have the ability to grow in their process to be a wife, men need the same grace. And so if a man comes to you and he offers himself to you, his vulnerability to you, it is very hard for a man to do that to a woman. That means he trusts you with the information that he's giving you. And you have to be mindful and careful how you handle what he's giving you, that he's worked so hard to psych himself up to do that for you. And if you don't handle that carefully, you're playing Russian roulette with yourself. You're playing Russian roulette because at that point, the man anything could happen. It could go left. It could go south quickly. And I know this sounds, bad. Oh, no, that would never happen to me. No. Everybody's not solid in their mental psyche. And it may be that day where he needs you to console him. And you take the information and use it against him. And it's bye-bye you, bye-bye him. It could easily happen, right? And I'm going to share this with you guys, an anecdotal experience. There was this young man that I went to school with. Very intelligent. Had a smile that light up a room, right? He's a real cool guy. He was dating my cousin, right? Her name was Shay. Shay, at the time, was in school where she was getting out of it, about to graduate. He had already graduated, so he was a year ahead of her. He had went into the military. And he came home, and I think he heard a few things about some things she was doing while he wasn't here. And he's sharing everything with her, his money, his time, everything. And what happened is she was working at Sonic and she was about to go to college to the University of Louisiana in Monroe. She was about to go to college and he got home from the military, a couple of days there. They spent some time together. I guess he gathered some facts or somebody came to him with some information. He drove her to her job, asked her to come out to the car. She agreed. She sat down in the car. 3 minutes later, 2 gunshots. Her and then him. In front of the entire place out there. Women and kids screaming, workers running. And it was just him and her in the car together. But the thing that blows my mind is that when he did it to him, when he deleted himself, he leaned over and hugged her. Like they found him just laying over her like this. And yeah, so that happened. And all because he felt that he was being mistreated. He felt like, I'm out here, I took a position, I went to the military, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and you would do this to me. And when you go back to the family members, some of the family members were saying he was giving her the benefit of the doubt. He took all day to try to tell everybody this is wrong. You're lying, not my baby. All day he tried to prove everybody wrong, and the evidence was too heavy. Pictures, right? People seeing them out, all this stuff. That just it was over at that point. He had already made his mind up. Delete her, delete myself. I'm just done. I'm gonna go to a job. This is how it's gonna be. He planned it out, right? So we have to. I'm telling you, we have to be mindful how men are very. I know y'all think men are very, very tough, but men are very fragile.
Very emotionally. The heart is very fragile.
And can you imagine seeing a man that's 38, 48, 58, 68 years old that has never been able to express himself? How much pressure, how much that is on. That's why men are dying quicker than women, right? But because we're not.
I've seen it up front and close and personal. I know exactly. I'm not going to discuss the story, but it happens. When they don't know what to do, they do the unthinkable.
Yep.
And it could be, you know what? And it could be as simple as this: can we talk? And I'm, instead of me seeing and recognizing that he's asking for a conversation, but his face looks a little different, his eyes look a little different. I'm still handling him the same way I was before.
Yep.
And it could be as simple as, sure, we can talk. What's going on? But no, we were still in our frame. I'm gonna call it our masculine frame.
Yep.
I've
heard it. I've heard men say, I've even been in this situation before in my lifetime, talking to my ex-wife. I said to her, hey, can we have a conversation? About what?
Yeah.
I just want to talk about the relationship. I just want to talk about where we're going, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel about some certain things. Oh my God, here we go with these feelings. Oh, I can't deal with no man act like no damn woman.
Whoa, that's a lot. That's a lot.
And so me, I'm stable. But what happens when you have that man that's unstable?
That's
right?
a lot.
And even at that point, I felt, it hit me like, leave now, because it does something to you. And I said, okay, leave now, so that Hulk don't come out. You got to leave. And I'll say this, and then Kirk, hey man, good to see you, brother. I'll say this, and I'm done. My brother came to live with me because he wanted to do better in his life, and he brought his fiance with him. This is the woman that was not good for him, and I told him, I said, man, your relationship right now reminds me of the relationship I have with my ex-wife. You need to cut that now. He didn't listen because he had to learn on his own. And so, come to find out, while they're living with me, she's texting people saying, I'm living in Texas now. I'm no longer in Louisiana. You can come by the house and see me. You're inviting people to my house while my brother's at work, because I got my brother a job working with me, right? And you inviting people to my house, dudes to my house, and lying and saying they were your cousins, and they're in my house. My wife's at work, I'm at work, my kids are at school. You got men in my house that I don't know, right? So my brother, sweetheart, big teddy bear, sweet, just a sweet guy. And I told my mama, once my mama said, that's a good man right there. He ain't like you. I said, Mom, well, I used to be like that too until what happened to me with my ex.
Life. Yeah, life.
Life changes. And so I told her, I say, all it's going to take for somebody to break his heart, and you'll see that side of him that's hidden in you. And so she did that. He went in and asked her, who are these guys? My cousins. He calls her mom and her dad and said, listen, are you familiar with these people? Well, I don't know them. Thank you. He hung the phone up. He walked in the house. I said, where you going? He said, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. I said, no. I said, what you about to do? What you going? He walked in the room and shut the door and locked it. and I heard loud bangs, stuff flying. I heard her screaming and hollering. My wife said, "Go get him before he kill her."
Yeah.
And I said, I can't get in. What you want me to do? She
Kick the
said,
door down.
right. I definitely had to bust the door down. When I went in
Yeah.
there, her throat was in his hands. He
Oh.
was shaking her damn life out. And I said, "Oh, I've never seen my brother like that ever." And after that, he left her alone. He cut ties with her. He moved back to Louisiana. And 2 years later, he found the woman of his dreams. They married right now. They got 2 kids. And so that had to happen for that to happen. But my brother has never been the same.
Wow.
He guards his heart now. He used to be so vulnerable. He used to be so giving and telling my woman how he feel. He's so guarded now. He's not the same man.
Wow.
Nope.
Mr. Kirk.
What's up, Kirk?
How are you doing today?
Get in the bag. Get in the bag. What's up?
How you doing?
Good night. How you doing?
We're doing good over here. Listen,
my first time on your channel.
I know. I'm welcoming you.
I'm so nervous. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm scared of you.
Oh wow, scared of her? What you scared of us listening for?
Listen, men usually love me. Why would you be scared?
She roughed me up over the other channel.
Listen.
Oh, catch me up.
Listen, Black Man, Kurt over there calling me boss chick. I said, "Oh, really?" You know, he didn't think I was saying. He was. I was listening in the background. He was just talking about these boss chicks out here. They just be doing this, they be doing that. And then as soon as I came up, I said, boss chick," and he said, "No, just call me boss chick." He was like, you know. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I was like, "Nah, it's okay." I just played. I was just joking though. How you doing though?
I'm good, man. I'm enjoying the topic because this is my type of topic.
I know. I could tell.
Yeah.
What do you think?
We have a bunch of boss chick relationship. That's what's going on.
No, we don't do that. That's
you
not
what I mean.
It's not good for you.
Yeah, we're married, but we are unequally yoked.
Yes, unequally.
I mean?
So, what do you think about using one bank account, though?
Listen, my wife got all the money. Just put it like that. If I die tomorrow, she get all the money because why am I hiding it? And if you die, they're gonna get it anyway. Unless it's so secretive where the government gonna get it or the bank just gonna take it. So I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, people want to be married with condition, and there's no such thing as you're married but you have separate stuff. Like it just doesn't make any sense. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You got people that are married, but then I know people right now that are married, but when you talk to them, they said that I would never get life insurance because I don't want my wife to get no money when I die. And they got like 4 or 5 kids, and it's like,
oh, I heard that too.
The stuff that that's why I don't like to come on YouTube, because the stuff being on YouTube and people talking about this stuff, it just does not make any sense.
No, it doesn't, because you're gonna leave your wife to when you die. You don't even want her to have money with. So that means she don't even like her now.
Yeah, but these are stuff that and these are the stuff that has been promoted in our community. The people that I'm talking about are in our community. Because them white folks, they'll get $10 million from 10 different insurance companies. So when they die, they can make sure that their family okay. But you over here talking about you don't even want to share bank account. Just the you know what I mean? Just the stupidness of what people do.
Yeah,
I agree, Kirk.
It's crazy.
You know what, Kirk? I was working on a deal one day, and a guy called in and he said, "Listen, I need all the information on the house. I need all the information." He said, "My wife had everything separate, and my wife now is on hospice, and she can't even talk."
Right.
And he said, I don't have password to the accounts. I don't know how much money she has in them. I can't even access them. I don't know nothing about them. He said, "Bro, I have no idea what to do." He said, "Insurance company, I don't even know who her life insurance is with."
Right.
And his wife is on her deathbed right now. She can't even speak. She's dying.
Well, how about this? I know a couple in California. The wife, she had a brain tumor, and the husband do the same thing we're talking about. Living two separate lives, but live in the same house. Because that's what it is. And guess what?
I like that.
Yep.
Guess what? Her parents was the one who would take control of her whole entire finance.
Wow.
How come you married someone, but then you gotta get an attorney to see if you can get your wife asset. Like the stuff people do is just, I don't get it. I don't get it. But for me, I can say it that, like what we were saying, security boss, we gotta vet the people that we date, and we gotta watch their character. That's the most important thing.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? If
Exactly.
you see if you vet the person, then you'll be comfortable to say, I'm gonna marry you, I'm gonna share my life together with you, not only physically, not only mentally, but financially, and we're gonna go into this 100%. You get what I'm saying? With
Yes.
me and my wife, we've been married for over 9 years. We have 2 beautiful kids, and at a point in your marriage, you just gotta give it up, man. Like, you just gotta give it all up. You get what I'm saying? And I just believe that people are coming in this relationship and they be taking Instagram and putting in their lifestyle, and it's crazy.
Yep. And that's one of the things. That's why I call it. That's why I'm gonna have a show about this on my platform one day. That's why I call it the Walt Disney theology.
So
men can separate reality from fantasy. Women cannot. And there's examples of it. Look how many women watch these reality shows and go watch these movies at the theater, and they come home and they're mad at you because you're not like the guy that was on the screen.
Right.
You know, and they can't separate the fantasy from the reality. This man,
Right.
I was watching Queen Sugar. I don't know if y'all watch it. Queen Sugar is a very nice black show. Ava DuVernay, I love her. But anyway, she's a great writer. But anyway, I was watching the show, and there's this guy on there named Hollywood. He's a younger guy, probably in his late 30s.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's with what's her name? Aunt Vi. Aunt Vi is double his age, probably, I think, or 20 years his senior. And he treats her like a queen. She can't do any wrong. He rubs her feet. He's there for her. She can't say anything wrong, can't do anything wrong. And one day, hell, I walked in, my wife was watching it, and she was like, man, they don't make them like Hollywood no more. And I just looked, I said, what? I said, this man, let me show you something. He was on the Breakfast Club. You want to go look up this interview? He was on the Breakfast Club because that man's doing a lot of work now. He was on Halloween. He was on all the whole other stuff. He's working. But he was on the Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne the God asked him, hey, man, do you really treat your real wife like that in real life? And he said, man, I get slandered by that every day, bro. He said, my wife always saying, man, boy, I wish I could have that Hollywood the man that you're portraying on that screen up there. He said, I'm completely different than what I'm showing on the screen. He said, my kids even say, you don't do my mama feet like that. You don't do my mama like that, you know? and so I'm like, I told my wife, I said, look at this. You see the difference? You see the difference? He's acting. Separate the reality from the fantasy. I mean, the fantasy from the reality.
So let me give a shout out to Gene for his super chat. And he also said, thank you, Gene, for your $5 super chat. And I personally believe that if a married couple shares a bank account, there must be some checks and balances that the couple should put in place. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I don't think one person should be the one paying the bills. Both parties can't pay the bills, just everything in one account, and this communication, the checks and balances that you speak of. Only one person pays the bills, though. So I agree with that. We definitely agree with that. But
let me say something. Let me say something, and I'm gonna run real quick. A lot of these ladies want high value man. That's how we function. That's how we function. So if you're coming with your money, we got to see what you have. Okay.
So do you think that men should be leading with their money?
No, hell
no. What I'm saying is that if you come in a relationship and you have your money, we should have a bank account together. Not I'm spending my money out on you. Even if I don't use your money, we should still have a unit together. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Because I'm agreeing with that, but I'm just asking you, do you think men should lead with their money? You know, often men lead with money.
It depends. It depends on who is good at handling the money. You get what I'm saying? Because some people are good at making money, and some people are good at saving and spending the money. So if your wife is better at saving and spending the money, you then just go ahead and make money. You're still gonna get the balance. You get what I'm saying? Because I know guys who are driving trucks like me, and they're like living paycheck to paycheck because they're horrible with money.
Gotcha.
So when it comes on to who leading with the money, it's just best at who you're married. So if you better, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
leading with the money, then just let your husband work it.
Right. No,
You get what I'm saying?
I agree with that. You're saying who's ever best with money, allow them to lead and pay the bill, despite
Right.
the man or the woman. I agree with you.
Besides who make it, right? Because at the end of the day, y'all gonna be on the same page anyways. Not like, you get what I'm saying? That's why I say when you vet a person, when you know who you're dealing with, it doesn't matter who handle the financial part of the aspect. My wife take care of that. I'm too busy to take care of paying the bills and the mortgage and all of that stuff. But
Right.
I'm the saver. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because if I leave it all up to my wife, you know, she'll go to Jamaica every 2 days.
Oh, wow.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a saver, but she's better at handling the money in certain aspects. So I give her that role, and she still take care of the house, still pay the bills on time, and still take care of the kids. You know what I mean? And I'm just on the road, just making it. So it just depends on who's best at taking care of the finances. And it doesn't make you a simp. It doesn't make you look less of a man. It doesn't make none of that stuff, because my brother is a better saver than me. You get what I'm saying? He saved way better than me. My wife, she take care of the bill way better than me. But I'm better at making money than both of them. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it all depends and just, you know, those situation with how your relationship set up. You get what I'm saying?
Let me read this comment. Captain Executive says, "Get your crap together and be able to handle your financial affairs, brethren."
Brethren.
Captain Executive, I need you to come up and express yourself, because I'm not sure we understand exactly what you're saying.
And that's my guy too. That's my guy, Cap, too. Come on, Cap, man. Come up here and talk to your boy.
Cap is our guy, but I want to understand him. I need some clarity. Jay, we need for you to cam up. If you have not, I need you to cam up, and you might have to come in through Chrome. That may be allowing you not to use your camera. Go open the link through Chrome and you will be able to cam up. I definitely appreciate you being here, and I want to speak to you. So definitely go through Chrome, and so you can use your camera. Thank you for that. But
for those who are coming in, if you're having that issue, go up to your search bar and click the lock link in the search bar. It'll drop down. Go to settings and turn on your camera and your microphone through your settings through Chrome, and it'll pop right up.
There we go. Thank you so much for that, Black man. And Kirk, you are exactly right. You're exactly right about that. The man is out making the money. The woman should be able to be that helpmeet and pay those bills and still be accountable to her husband. And that's how it should be, if that's what best suits your family. So I agree with that. We definitely agree.
And a lot of guys is not gonna agree, but you know what I mean? It all depends, but it is what it is. As I said in the previous show, it all depends on maturity. It all depends on how long you've been with a person. I trust my wife. She trusts me. I don't have to worry about it. Every month I go over my finance with my wife, and I never have an issue. And we've been together a very long time. So if you know, it all depends on how everyone relationship is. But I thank you for having me here. As you know, I am on my way to California. I just stopped to say hi to you. I'm in Colorado, so I am going to be jumping back and driving. All right.
Listen, thank you so much for being here, and don't make this your last time. Please do drop in again.
And Kirk, let me say something before you go. Kirk, is he still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Kirk. So, man, I just want to say thank you, man, because I always want to appreciate a Black man that's out getting his bag. And so thank you, man, for being out on the road and being in those dangerous highways, going through ice storms, going through rain and all that stuff, just to get people what they need. And these men out here driving these trucks, you guys are the necessity that the world needs, man. Without you guys, we get nothing.
Thank you, man.
So I want to sincerely say from one Black man to another one, man, thank you for your service and what you're providing for the country, brother.
Yeah. And big up to Jay, man. We was at that chat the other night.
All right, Kirk.
Thanks, Kirk. We'll see you
Keep
tomorrow.
doing work, brother.
All right, be safe.
All right, thank you.
Mr. J, how are you, sir?
How you doing, security boss? I've been a huge fan of yours. I've been following you
you.
for a very long time, and I really appreciate the stuff that you're doing, sister. I'm glad to see one of my sisters up here talking actual, sense and actually bringing the info of her married life. That means a lot to me.
Come on, Jay. Come on, Jay.
Thank
What's
you,
up,
Jay.
Jay? That's my brother right there. What's up,
So-
Jay?
How you doing, Black Man Unfiltered?
So, Jay, what do you think about this? Should we put all our money in one pot?
Honestly, if you're talking about a future together, then you should. But the thing is, I would say not going stupid, going with this talk that you guys have had before you got married. Like, babe, you're good, babe. I'm good at making money. You were good at, producing the actual results of saving up, of what we need to save up for. And this is going to be unpopular, but I am going to say it. Some of my sisters are socially calibrated to know what money works. And a lot of cats don't like that. I'm one of the fans that actually supports that. They do like it and that they're good at it. And the thing is, if it helps us in the long run, and that's what I care about, that we are both prosperous in what we're doing. Like I said, I'm the hard worker, sweetheart, and you know how to calculate all our freaking, not debt, but you can able to calculate how much we're spending per month. But also if you're thinking long term in terms of like the year, I'd be a fool.
Right.
Go ahead, take care of this money. I'm gonna let you take care of it, sweetheart, because I know you got the skills for it. So yes, ma'am, I think you should go in together, but but let that be a talk first, and then once the talk is already done, you've agreed to everything, just start getting to work, the both of you, and then there should be no issues later on. Now, if there's that because of talk that she wants to talk to you about something, yo, babe, we're looking you made a little extra this week, yeah, and you let me know, yeah, I did let you know. You want to set that up for that trip that we plan on going for? We can do that. If I put an extra few more hours, and then I'll make sure we take off for that day, so we can say specifically for that, and we don't touch it. That's all I would tell you.
Jay, you just said
that's
something.
How we would do it.
How many couples? Oh, Jay, you just said something that set my soul on fire. How many couples are working and they get bonuses and they don't tell their spouse about it?
Ooh.
Many
Man, come on. How many men getting those big bonuses, 10 grand, 8 grand, and they go home and get a wife the regular check, and that 8 grand, that separate check, they didn't put it somewhere else.
Oh,
no. They put it somewhere else.
No.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, Cap, my brother Cap. What's up, what?
You got this new look, got the glasses and everything.
Malcolm X like. What's up, what?
Yeah. Got the new beard and everything. I hadn't seen you in a while.
I know, right? Yeah, it's just something new. Company allow us to make wear beards now, so yeah, that's how this new look for the new year.
How you doing?
I'm great. Happy New Year to all you guys. I haven't seen you guys, but yeah, good topic this afternoon. I just came from the gym a while ago, and I was listening to you guys the whole time. I just got in, so I understand what he's saying. The guy, the previous caller, about letting his wife deal with all the finances, which is cool. But he has to be able to do this stuff himself as well. You guys just talked about it a while ago about people being on their deathbed, nobody knowing how to do certain things or how to handle certain things. I put all of that in consideration, bro. Like, you got to be able to do everything.
Yep.
Everything as a man in your house. You're supposed to be able to do everything. Anything that you lacking or whatever you can't do at that point in time, she should be able to, maybe call a plumber if you're not around, or call somebody, be like, hey, I'm going away. That's what I used to do. I used to, have people, I leave a list. If something happens, this is the number to call in case I'm in the air.
Right.
This is I leave these instructions. But once I'm on the ground, we talking, I tell you I'm on the ground, and, I basically do those calls and stuff for that. But having a woman deal with that whole thing all by herself, and you don't know how to do it, that's a problem. That's a serious problem. So that's my only take on that. No disrespect to the guy, because I understand, a lot of guys are like that. But nah, my opinion is that, the man should be able to do everything. He pays 100% of the bills. He should be able to do everything if he pays 100% of the bills.
I think he can do everything. I just think that he doesn't choose to do everything. I think it's a choice in the matter. Even like my husband. Like I said, my husband make all the money, but I pay all the bills physically. But he knows how to do it also.
But he said he's good with funds financially. That's what he said. He said his brother is better than him. So why don't you get tips from your brother on how to be financially fit? You know what I'm saying? Being able to, pay the bills and stuff for that, just in case.
No, he said he said he's good with savings, but his brother is better at saving than he is. He said he is good at savings, but his brother is better than he.
Financially? I mean, like dealing. Yeah.
He just said savings.
So he could ask his brother, hey, bro, what do you do? Or get some help. I mean, I'm on the road all the time too. And I read a lot. I take my time and try to figure out things I don't know. He sits at truck stops,
Yeah.
So I'm just saying,
he's just choosing to, not worry about it. He's just letting her do it. But I don't know for the fact that he knows how, but I'm pretty sure he does. But yeah, he does, because he said they have he didn't call them meetings, but he said something about they go over it monthly. They go over their finances monthly. He did say that. But I still understand what you're saying too, because you don't want to be on your deathbed. And because that's happened to me, not me particularly, but my parents. My mother died on Halloween, and my dad has no clue about anything. He doesn't even know what her insurance policies are. And we have to so we had to pay to bury her and wait, find the policy later and wait for it to pay and all that stuff. But it got done. But you're exactly right. He knows nothing. So I'm paying the bills, getting him on a different, track of how to do that, because he never paid it. He did not know, they totally were separate. And, that's what we're saying. You shouldn't be totally separate. But if you are, you still need to know what's going on in your house.
Exactly. I had an uncle. He was like basically, I call him a weak beta. I'll put it like that. His wife, she controlled everything. And, his nephews called him over there a few times. All the respect. He caught feelings on it. He still couldn't say nothing, do nothing about it. And it was bad. It was bad. My grandmother literally had to, when he got sick, she literally had to put him, bring him back home. His wife didn't want nothing to do with him after he got sick, and it was bad. It was horrible. And we tried to warn him a long time ahead. He was making all the money. He was the breadwinner and everything. And the minute he got sick, she dipped him like that's it.
Wow.
It was crazy. So,
That's bad. I mean, that's what we're talking about, though. Sir Hale, how are you, sir?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Unsolicited security boss, ladies and gentlemen, it's good to be here. I'm doing wonderful. How are you tonight?
Doing good. I just wanted to say hello to you. But this is what we're talking about. We're talking about becoming one in all things, including finances, because she should have never sent him back home to his mom when he got sick. That was terrible. And you don't want that. You want to take care of those things, talk about everything. But the most important thing for me, I think, is becoming one. And what Black Man and I talked about in the very, very beginning is you can give your everything to your spouse, everything, sex, everything, sleep with them, everything, but you can't mix your money. You got to have your funds separate. Why is that? Why are we so crazy about money?
I mean, if you have couples who agree to live separately, but they're still married, and that way I get that. But if you live in the same house, nah.
Oh, speaking of that, dude, did you see the Steve Harvey show when the lady stood up and she said, "I want to be married, but I want us to have separate houses."
I seen it.
She wants to stay in her own other house while he stays in his house.
Yep.
That's crazy. And she wants to be married. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, that was crazy.
No. So she said that she's open to it, but she doesn't necessarily have to be married. But she did love the man and wanted to be with him.
Right. And you said, why do we have a problem with two separate household marriages? And I'm like,
So how
Steve had to ask the whole audience that question.
How are they going to be together, though? I mean,
I guess he'll go visit.
They'll go visit. Okay.
A visit.
Go visit.
And then Steve Harvey was. Steve Harvey was like. Steve Harvey was like, somebody stand up who agreed with this, and the lady stood up who agreed with her, and she was single. And then he asked the married woman. He said, "Now, how would you feel, if your husband did this?" And people who were married 20 and 30 years was like, "Hell to the no! We ain't separate households."
What's the purpose? Did she want to have a baby or something? Something had to be behind it. Why would you want to get married and live separate?
She didn't want any children. She didn't want any children.
She didn't want any children, as far as we know. Like,
Yeah, see,
she can't be
for me,
doing that.
for me, that would be a red flag to a man that there's
Uh-huh.
some mental illness or something going on in the head that doesn't make sense. So don't follow. I don't care how it looked on the exterior. Don't let it fool you. That's what it says to me. But I don't know. Read what you read.
I agree with you.
It's not good.
I agree with
not
you.
good.
I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people go into these marriages. I mean, I don't know about males, because males bring, men of purpose. A lot of females go into these marriages or these relationships with one foot in and one foot out. So they always have like separate stuff on the side just in case things like it goes downhill. Like the comment that just popped up a while ago. Lady said, I think that was a lady. She said she has a separate account because she found when she found out she was going to be separated, or he was going to leave her or stuff like that.
I got a separate account. Yeah. I got a separate account when I knew I was leaving my ex. That's Corey is a man, and he said when he knew he was on his way out the door, he got another account.
All right. Yeah, see,
he was planning for the escape at that. Well, by that time, if you know you're getting ready to leave, it might be time to plan for that. But going in,
yep.
No, listen. Here's another one. I can't do that. My parents had separate bedrooms after sharing. Oh wow.
Well,
yeah, I hear stuff like that.
Yeah, there was something like that on the Steve Harvey show too, where a lady, where I think it was James Saxton, she had said they still are romantic towards each one another, but the difference is they still live in separate bedrooms, but everything is still a-okay. But I know that's weird. Please believe I know that's weird, because if I can't be why do we have to be in separate beds if we love each other? That's a question.
I think one of the people snored, and it was hard for the other person to sleep. I think that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Snored, or they're on that machine. They have those what do y'all call it? The machines? Those machines make noise, so they might
all night.
The sleep out there machine.
The sleep out there machine. Yeah. So they have meetings. They have meetings for their relations, and then after the relation, she goes in one room and he, plugs up to the machine, and you
got to spice that up though, unsolicited. I'll put it on and we'll role play. I'll be like Darth Vader or something. You know what I'm saying? Like put me a hat on or something. Be like, hey, you ready?
No, you make him lose some weight and change his diet and get his stuff together. That's what you do. That's what you do. We don't have to do like that. Put him on vegetables only.
Yeah.
Listen, he don't need to be stopped breathing in the middle of the night. We got to fix that. We don't have to remedy it. We can fix it.
Right.
We just throw our hands up. Let me get this machine, and then no. You gonna walk every day.
I had that problem. I had that problem one time ago. I had that problem.
Unsolicited is on point. Absolutely.
We're going to build up our lungs. We are not going to stop breathing in the middle of the night. We're going to stop it. We're going to do something different. Come on, listen. What source heals your body? Who can do more than? Come on, y'all. We can't just keep putting up. No, we're not doing it. We're going to walk. We're going to walk. We're going to be vegetables only. We're doing something.
Yeah, because if you watch my 600 pound, if you ever watch 600 pound life or 700 pound life or whatever it is, like a lady was on there, she was like 875 or something, and her husband came over. He's fixing all the plates or whatever. I don't know if y'all seen this on Facebook. It blew up. It went viral. He was preparing the food, and he had the plate sit on the counter. He's preparing them. I didn't count them at first until I had to go back and watch it. And he walked over, and he had 2 plates in his hand. He and his son he said, "I'll be back with your plate, son. Go have a seat at the table." And he walked on like, "Oh, they're gonna sit down and have breakfast. Okay, let me." He gave her 2 plates. One had waffles, bacon, sausage. The other one had waffles, bacon, sausage piled up like this, and he gave her both plates. And then he went back and fixed him and his son when they all sat down.
Yeah, I saw that.
No, listen.
I never seen that.
Mike B said snoring can be generic.
Yeah.
What's generic?
I think genetic.
I think you mean genetic. Yeah.
Oh, snoring can be okay. You can't get that septum thing fixed or something that you don't have to snore.
Let me tell you something, boy. I got a little sister. I love her so much.
I love Unsolicited.
Going out like that.
Unsolicited is like, let's fix this. Let's fix it. Fix it. Yep.
Got to fix it. Listen, we all have learned. You remove the supplication and everything can heal. We got to remove these problems. We can't just be like get a CPAC or come on, y'all. I don't know about that.
I mean, I think that's like very late. I think later in the marriage, probably. Sorry to cut you off, Sir Hell, but I think that's like something like later on. Like maybe he didn't snore when y'all first got married in like the few years, but then it started coming up more, and then it's like, okay, this a problem. The wife ain't liking it. I can understand why she don't like it, but some people be like, yo, just sleep through it or let him get a machine something so you don't make the noise.
Yeah, that's probably
so
about
I'm hearing both sides.
That's 50 or 60 pounds heavier. That's many years of your body being worn out. Go out there and walk, build up your lungs, get that little bone removed, whatever you got to do. You still have a wife. We can't just, come on, y'all. You got to do some things. It's just you need to live your life ultimately. You got to be ultimate. You can't be just in your sickness and be like, oh God, I'm sick today. I can't get up. My knee hurt. Well, why don't you try to walk on it? No, I'm not. Well, you still can walk. No, I'm just going to let it deteriorate and I'll be good. You can't do that. We can't do that.
Yep. So I think love today, if you got to care about your health, you got to find somebody else who care about your health as well. That's a whole love language. And I think we don't realize that until later on in life when we got somebody else who contributes to our demise. If somebody loves you and they don't care about your health, they don't really love you. That's just my philosophy.
No. Yep. They don't. And guess what else? Yeah. Right now we have the internet, y'all. Even if we can't find a remedy, you got some solutions. You got a book you can read or somewhere you can go before you go to the doctor. Doctors just prescribe medicine. Just cover up the problem. They don't want to fix it. But you got some sources that you can talk to. There's so much stuff you can do. But I bet you the first thing, if you're talking about breathing, the first thing is getting your heart and lungs up to par. So start with that. Walking. Go outside and breathe some air. Get off your, y'all know what. I'm trying to.
I know what you're saying, man. I got you.
I said that before, and people picked at me. So Sir Hell, I said that on your channel. I said we need to get off our lazy.
And I clipped it. I'm like, yep, absolutely.
That's our problem. We eat wrong, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at this. Y'all understand this. I'm not saying that, but you got to understand that something caused this. If you didn't come out your mama snoring. And now you do. We got to go back and figure out somewhere in between what we start doing wrong and try to correct it. We can't just say, oh, I snore now and I'm going to get this machine and my wife going to be in one bedroom and I'm going to be in another. No.
Absolutely. No. I do want to say this real quick before I go. Listen, a dope conversation. I absolutely now agree that if you love somebody, I have a response and a question for you. I believe that we should share accounts. I'm a firm believer. I listen. Dave Ramsey. Listen, guys. If you haven't read this book, everybody should read that book. Like I believe in merging accounts. But here's my question for you. Let's say two people come into a relationship and they both got stuff, right? In that instance, do you also think that people who come and they got money, assets, and stuff that they should merge that as well?
I do think that. But again, I also think if you're at a certain age, you should have that prenup. I agree with that prenup situation. If you're a certain age, I did. So I get, and then listen, I agree with that because of inheritance purposes. Like, if my husband and I have a business, my daughter don't listen to nothing I say. She's a woman. So if she go out and get one of these guys that is not suitable for my liking or my husband's liking, then, then something happened to us, he gets it all and then leave her. I don't want that. So for purposes like that, if you're older and, you're trying to protect things of that nature, it was mostly for me when you're younger and you're coming into marriage. But if you ain't got nothing, you don't have anything. But when you get older, I do think you should protect yourself. But again, I think the absolute ultimate thing is to become one and none of that matters. But we do still have to be smart,
Absolutely.
To a degree.
I'm with you 100% on that part.
When you got a little life behind you, when you got a little life experiences behind you and you've seen some things, we ain't gonna be, you got to keep it real. You got to be smart.
I wanted to say when it comes to international, it gets a little bit tricky. I was saying this morning, I think on Anton's channel, when in Haiti, it defaults to the children. Like everything that you have as a married couple defaults to your children. So, for example, my mom, her dad left her land in Haiti. When she passed, that land splits between me and my siblings and between my cousins and stuff like that, versus if it just goes over to the wife, because my grandfather remarried however many times, that it just protects it for the children that initially had a right to it and any further children that have a right to it, instead of the culture where you get married every so however many years down there.
Zoe, I forgot to say hello. How are you?
I'm good. I've been watching. I've been in and out. I haven't been catching every part of the stream, but I've been busy, so I had to hop in, hop out. I tried to hop in earlier, and I had to hop back out. So I'm just glad to be on here.
So let me listen. Mike B is hipping us to something. Let me hear what Mike B has to say. He says, "I sleep with a CPAP machine. I'm in shape. Laugh out loud. Why are you laughing out loud, Mike? My tongue is too big. It blocks my airway. Oh my goodness, Mike.
And that's what I was about to say about my sister.
Yeah.
The same thing happened to my sister. Her tongue is too big and it blocks her airway. So the air, the pressure brings down the tongue so the airway can have air. Because my sister, she sounds like a 97 Toyota Camry when she sleeps. And I have to tell her, man, I told my she's at my house and she's like, I said, oh, wake up. I said, you dead? You dying? Don't die in my house.
Black man, stop it. You should be helping her. So listen, Mike, you're definitely educating me about something. Okay, so your tongue, black man, you know this personally. So your tongue continues to grow. How does that, is that
no. It's just
no,
like
your tongue is big. It's got a big tongue.
Yeah, it's deformed.
It's just big. Okay.
And especially if you sleep on your back, the tongue kind of goes back into the So when you breathe, it's like it's like that.
Wow.
And I know a guy like Cap Exec's size. He has to sleep up like this. He gets up against the wall or a couch and he sleeps with his back upright like this to keep his airway, his tongue from choking him while he sleeps.
Now, is this okay? Now, with the CPAP, does that correct that, or is that just correcting the snoring? Because I think Mike said he's using CPAP for that reason.
For snoring?
I'm sorry?
You said for snoring?
Is it for snoring? Because he says he uses the CPAP machine for the reason of his tongue. But is what you're talking about, is the tongue, does that cause snoring also? Would the CPAP correct that? Would that help it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, when you have the machine, when you put that machine on, that machine helps a lot because it adds the pressure needed to keep the tongue at bay.
Yeah.
It keeps the tongue down. So that machine's running.
Snoring and airflow. Thank you, Mike.
We fix the airflow basically because I think I have to get my tonsil out too because if I sleep on my back, I'll wake up the neighborhood. Like literally.
My sister had to have her tonsils removed.
Okay. So listen, thank you, Mike B. I stand corrected. As long as you understand the problem, let's just don't allow it to be something that we can correct. And I'm hating that you have that problem, but listen, if it works for you, I'm glad it does. And thank you for the information. I did not know. So we understand now that the CPAP is for the thick tongue also. So we need to know that. We learn something every day. So good for you. Good. I'm glad. Now, Zoe, what do you think about adding the money to one account? I know you talked about the prenup thing, but what about adding the money to one account? What do you think about that?
For me, what I was talking about wasn't the prenup thing. It was just for clarification. It was like just internationally, you might come across different situations, like for my family, where it comes to distributing land, where everything defaults by law to the children across the board. So everyone's kids, if you have multiple marriages, if you've been married multiple times, that the kids from the first marriage are as protected as the kids in the second and the third marriage, like is the case in my family. But on the topic, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But wait, before you go, but when you say by default, so these kids have to be in some way documented by birth certificate. How do we default that without having some? Okay.
Birth certificate. So for me to claim my land on my father's side, I need my father's birth certificate and my birth certificate showing him on there in the U.S. and his birth certificate in Haiti. And then for my mom, I need the same as well. I have family members down there on my mom's side, so it's easier in that regard. But that's just the clarification that across the board, like the assets thing, like if depending on how many times you get married, it could get tricky. But I'm not married, so I actually came on here with a question instead of trying to say my opinion, because I can't knock anything that y'all been saying. Y'all been going in all night. So my question for you, black man, and I guess it was Sir Hill also, but he had to leave, was on paper, I know how to budget myself, and then I guess I have an idea of what it would look like to budget someone else in as well, and to have a budget and go across and go over it with a partner that I trust. Is there something on paper that you guys have that's practical that way as well when it comes to this, or is it just fly by ear because you guys have the conversations, the paper like a guide isn't as needed? Do you get what I'm trying to say, or I'm trying to ask?
Yeah, you got to have the conversations like I forgot the minute Kurt said earlier. You got to sit down and have the conversation. You got to have the conversation, and you got to know where everything's allocated to. This is where this is going. This is where this is going. As long as you have communication, you ain't got to worry about nothing.
Writing it down.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
So let me tell you what I do. All the money goes in one pot. I pay bills on the 1st and 15th of every month. And bills are typically the same amount, right? So you can actually budget that out. But I don't pay bills every day of every month. I don't pay them when they come. I pay them on the 1st and on the 15th because that's actually how we make deposits. Okay. So if I pay everything that's due because it's from the previous month, okay, let's say due from the 1st to the 15th on the 1st, then I'm done paying. You can see exactly how much money you have after all your bills are paid. Mm-hmm. You can see it. And what I do is I actually put aside the invoices. I invoice everything. Or have you heard of a done? I shouldn't say done. Invoice. Everything comes with. I don't do the electronic. Well, when they email the bill to you, I don't do that. I see it. I have them mail me a bill so my husband can see it also. So all the dones are mailed, and so anything from the 1st to the 15th is paid on the 1st, so we can see exactly how much it is, and all is done on the 1st. So when that bill comes out, when everything has come out to the account, you can see exactly how much money you have, right? And then when the 15th comes, you do the same exact thing. Once it's done on the 15th, or when all the money comes out, you see exactly how much you have. And pretty much you're going to have the same amount every month. So you'll know exactly what to do. But here's a comment. All men should know how to budget. If we don't know it, we have to do the work to learn it. Even if your wife manages, you still have to be financially educated. I agree to that. Sir Hale. Anyway. Oh, Nerd Wallet is a good platform for this as well. Jenny says Nerd Wallet is a good platform for that. But that's what I do. Every bill that has to be paid, the invoice comes in. I don't like that thing where they email, everything is now virtual. They want to email you your bill. I don't like that. I want to see it because I want to see how much I owe. I want to see what they charged me for, everything. And then I go through it. It's there stacked up, and then we pay it. He sees it, and it's done. You only pay it twice a month. You just don't. So that way you'll know exactly how much money you need, and you'll know exactly how much money you have.
I agree with you. Definitely.
I like the digital, but what I had to learn, especially on the military side of things, you got to print everything out and have copies. So you have to have physical copies. You got to have, if you're doing a digital, have the digital copies as well, but have the physical copies because it'll make things easier. And if things have to be signed or things have to be worked out or coordinated, that you have time stamps and copies of when and what happened, and like just to double check and a double look at things. So even if you don't have to have the digital side of things, I just prefer that. But on the hard copy things, you have to have copies. You have to have a good tracking system. Like Sir Hale said, you got to know how to budget.
So let me share something with y'all. Let me give y'all a true story, and this really happened. So if you're not dialed in, you need to get dialed in. In our business, we don't check the business account as much as you do your personals, right?
Right.
So I went almost like a week or two, maybe it might have been longer than that. But I noticed the bank had charged us $500, and this is a true story, $597 in some sort of a fee. So I'm thinking, what in the world could this be? Now, it had been there for at least 2 to 3 weeks with nobody, nothing, no knowledge of nothing. It was just a fee. They took nearly $600 out of our business account with nothing, with no explanation. I mean, for them, it was just nothing. So I finally saw it and I called on it. I said, what is this? Nobody could give me an answer. Y'all, nobody could answer that question. They told me, let me call you back. We need to do a little bit of investigation, find out what's going on. So when they finally called me back, they said, this was done in error, of course. But what it is that apparently, y'all, they charge you to get cash out of the bank. Does that make sense? Have y'all ever heard that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
It
so
don't make sense, but they do that.
they
do
charge
that.
you. So they had charged us a tune of $597. Now listen, if I would have never went back and checked the bank account, this is not me paying bills. This is something in the bank account that you will only see on your statement or, if you online. If I never would have checked that, they would have gotten $600 from me and I would never known. Never know. So you have to reconcile your bank account with your money. Also, both of them, you got to go back and look through and see if this is this. Did I do this? Did I do this? So they end up giving us, y'all, 11 lines of credit for what, because they continued to do it. It's almost like their system got caught in some kind of I don't know. It just kept charging us, and then they went back and had to do the credits just like that. Now, guess what? I called and caught it. Just think about how many people that happened to that day. They have not called and caught that yet. They didn't go.
That's how they make their money.
They didn't go back.
That's so convenient. So convenient.
They got calling anybody and say, look, we made a mistake and one of our customers found it. I think you might be involved. They did not. So that's just on there. Now, if it went past that bank statement, that I see online, then I never would have seen it. So you do have to be in your account. And you just check all your accounts every day or every other day. You don't do well. I probably should, but your bank account, you don't have those times. You don't do your it's not transactional like that. So I never bothered to. But then I just happened to be looking, and I saw, what is this? That was nearly $600 they took. So make sure you're looking out for your money because it can happen, and the banks are the number one culprits. And check on fees all the time because sometimes you're being charged for stuff you didn't do. Cell phones and banks are the two people that will take your money.
You better come on.
Cell phones.
Cell phones, they'll get you in a minute.
Cell phones in the bank.
Pocket tappers. They'll tap your pockets.
You have to check. Quick. You have to check that you're being charged for what you do. So,
right.
That and Zoe, make sure you find a way because you got to budget your money. You got to know what you're bringing in and what you're spending. You got to know that.
I budget my money. My question was more geared towards like including someone else in. You know what I'm saying? Like I budget well and I budget on paper, but from what it seems like the conversation's been going, as long as I've been participating, it seemed like the conversation, like what Black Man was saying, like the conversation is important. So I'm okay with still managing and budgeting myself on paper while having that conversation, because that's where my experience is lacking. It's having the conversation with somebody else about what I'm going to do with my money and what they're going to do with theirs, because I'm very comfortable covering things for myself and covering things for other people. But then when it comes to having conversation where it's mutual and there's an understanding, and then there's a teamwork involved on a one-to-one basis where someone else is, where I would, potentially have to answer to someone else about what I'm doing, is where I don't foresee myself having an issue, but I understand how when it comes to money, people can get sensitive and have these issues where like what Black Man was saying, like, which where I agree, like having that conversation, I guess, is more ultimately important than what I'm doing on paper, but it's as important when you have someone else involved. And that's kind of what I was looking for.
Well,
Is that what you were saying, Black Man? Or
Yeah.
It goes back to what needs to happen. If you take on a wife, you got to work every day on becoming one with that woman. And one of my suggestions is suggesting that all the money goes in one pot because you have more. You have more to budget. When you have more money, it makes more sense. You don't, instead of her trying to take care of hers and you taking care of yours, you put it all together. You pay what's important first. And then what's left over, you as the leader decides what can be done.
Right.
If whatever it is, not everybody wants to spend all their money. She may be just like you. Women, we need to adapt to whatever Zoe is saying we need to do, because Zoe has a plan for his household and he's going to take us to a different place. And she has to be on that plan. So you got to figure that out before you take her on as a wife. Is she about that plan? Because you're not trying to take anything from her. You're just trying to have a good life with her. So that's what you got to figure out. Now, if she's rebelling and resistant towards that, you listen to her and find out why. And then, when she gets after a year, you like, we're still dating. She's like, when am I going to get my ring? Your next answer should be, when you going to trust me?
Oh my God.
Oh.
Thank you.
I got to touch up on that.
That's a mic drop.
Yeah, that is.
That's a mic drop right there.
When you gonna trust me, and then as soon as she can give you that answer,
Exactly.
that's when you get the ring. Otherwise, we got to still, because that's it's got to happen. You the leader, you got to determine where you're going. But of course, you got to show her, and I think you've already said you're doing it. You got to show her that you can manage and budget yourself, and do what you got to do and manage all the things you have successfully and not miss anything. You're not getting the lights turned off. You're showing her that you can do it alone. So now she has to trust you to do it for the both of you as her husband. And that's your job to do.
I agree. Like right now, I'm actually looking at my pay for, the end of the month. And I always go through and see what my taxes was. Everything was, spread out and stuff for that, the details. How much I give the IRS this month, how much the benefits and stuff for that. And I always try to calculate, make sure I'm not being robbed, even with my company. So, and, back up about 150 hours of credit this month. So that was great. Yeah. So, those kind of things I look at, like literally, I'm looking at it right now in ADP. So these kind of things I
almost messed up myself. So you got to look at that, y'all. Make sure you're looking behind people because they will take your money.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you call them on it, they give it back. You call them on it.
We had a problem in the whole company whereby they shorted everybody about 50 hours. That was big. That was big last year.
50 hours is a lot.
Yeah, and that was that was like 6,000 pilots. Yeah, it was like, that was big. So everybody had the same issue and they had to fix it right away. So, some of the wives of the husbands caught on to it because,
paying the bills. Yeah.
And that's why I was going with that. Some of the wives caught on to it and they were like, hey, everybody's like, yo, you guys got this problem? Yep. So it was big, but they kind of clapped on it quick and it was done. It was dealt with because I didn't know until I actually got on the ground and then it was already resolved. It was like maybe a 10-minute issue. Other than that, yeah. So.
Wow. So listen, Black man, it looks like, hello, Big Bad Bull. How are you? Sherelle, how are you? So listen, guys, y'all coming in out late, but that's okay. Listen, Black man, it looks like you and I gonna need to have another show on some budgeting.
Yeah, and also, I know you see this love connection happening on your show, and you're not paying attention to it.
Oh, where is it at? Show me.
So Brother Zoe down at the bottom down there starts smiling all of a sudden. So I look over in the comments.
Who over there?
And Sister Sherelle said, Zoe, I saw you smile. Oh, come pull that up, Mr. Unsolicited over there.
Yeah,
he said, let me go. I'm being extra petty. I'm extra petty.
I saw it. I saw you smile when they said my name.
You see it?
Put me on the spot.
No, I mean, go one more. Yeah, go all the way up there till it say Zoe. Zoe, I saw you smile when you saw my name. If she said that at what time was that?
No, you didn't. No,
8:25. 8:25, Mr. Unsolicited. At 8:25.
Y'all about to run the tape back on me, huh?
9:25 for us. Let's see.
9:25
hey,
for y'all.
Let's see. Keep going.
Yeah, 8:25.
Right there. I saw you smile when you saw my name. Wait a minute, though. Why her eyebrows going in and she got the little crooked smile though? What is that?
Yeah, she got the little kisses and the little heart. Okay.
She got a Sailor Moon smile.
I flirted a little bit and she worked smiling at, but it's all fun and games. That's Jonathan BM. I'm not crossing no lines.
Wait a minute now. I seen somebody sitting real close to Jonathan the other day, so I don't know.
I don't know about that. Yeah, you talking about Cam. Yeah, Cam.
Sherelle might be on here.
Cam real thick now. Him and Cam real thick over there now.
I couldn't even see no air coming through them. They was touching.
She was like right on the shoulder, like
she was on it.
Right on this side. Yeah.
There was
like on this side, she was like right behind him, like where she's supposed to be, like right behind him. Like
she said, "Child, Jonathan left me." Zoe. She said she know why you smiling, Zoe.
Yeah, Jonathan was saying in that song, "You move, I move." They was together.
Just like that.
Guys, watch this. Oh, Zoe, Sherelle, I'm gonna give you a 5-second window not to smile when you hear her name. Sherelle, 5, 4, 3.
He holding it.
2.
Look at him.
He holding
his lip. Is
he want to let it go.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
I should have.
He said, "You don't know what you talk about." So listen, guys, I appreciate y'all. So look, now you're showing them all. I appreciate y'all all for being here. We're gonna have to do this again. It looks like budget is gonna be our next topic. And listen, y'all join in. We can all help each other. Mike B, I appreciate you so much for your information. And listen, we got to do this again. Put your money in one pot, though. Get ready to take on a wife. Take it seriously. Invest your time. I did have one question, though. Who am I going to ask? Who's a basketball fan out here? Which one of y'all do basketball? Okay, Jay, tell us this. Who is your most, who do you like? What athlete do you like? Basketball.
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade. What you know about Dwayne Wade? Do you know everything about Dwayne Wade? Highest scoring game, who he played for and all of that?
Yes, I know his highest scoring game.
Okay, what was it?
He played for Miami Heat, and his highest scoring game, he scored 51 points, and I think that was in 2006 NBA Finals. He pretty much soloed the championships.
Okay, you heard all that. You see that? You did it. So when you decide his cheeks were still glowing, when you decide to
that's just my lighting.
Jay, oh my goodness. Jay, when you decide to take on a wife, okay, listen to what I'm saying. When you decide to take on a wife, all that energy you just put in Dwayne Wade, knowing all his stats, his highest scoring game, when he did it, the title he got, I need you to put all that into your wife every day. And guess what? It's going to be successful. She's not going to let you down.
I won't let her down either.
Don't be coming back looking for me if she do. But anyway, I'm just saying you got a good chance. You got a good chance. If you put that much energy into your wife to get to know her that well, you got a good chance. I promise you do. It's so intentional. You were so intentional with that. You were intentional to find Dwayne Wade, to watch him, to follow him, to know his stats, to be able to repeat it, never forget it. And what you say, 2016?
No, 2006, sorry.
6, my God, think about it. You said how much intention you intended to remember that. You got to be, that's how we got to be in our relationships. So just want to leave that with you guys. And listen, y'all all have a good night. Thank you for being here. Chat, y'all have been phenomenal with your engagement. Black man, you know you're outstanding. Captain Executive's outstanding to see you. You guys, you know I've seen you over on Anton's. I'm glad to see you again. Please come back. It's the first time on my chat, but please continue to come back. We're going to do this again next Monday. And I'll see you soon.
Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent.
Y'all like my music, huh?
Yeah. It's funny how love can fall out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist a spliff and laugh and relax. Are you crying? And I'm trying to find the reasons, so I ask, does forever ever happen? Or is it always fade to black?
I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul. I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul.